Lightning. Produced by SuperTemno, Temno LLC. Chapter 1. Southside Union never slept easy. Streetlights flickered like nervous eyes. Sirens hummed in the distance, steady as a heartbeat. The sidewalks cracked under too many years and too many secrets. And the air always seemed thick with heat, even after the sun went down. 15-year-old Jalen Watts darted down the alley like a shadow with a mission. He was all wiry limbs and restless energy, his hoodie flapping behind him like a cape. His sneakers slapped the pavement, faster than most would dare to run on this side of town. But tonight, he wasn't running for fun. He was running for his life. Behind him, the pounding of boots echoed through the alley. 3 boys from the Parkside crew, all older, stronger, meaner. "Yo, Watts!" one of them shouted, laughing like it was a game. "You want in or not?"
"I changed my mind!"
Jalen shouted over his shoulder, nearly slipping as he turned a corner.
"Y'all crazy!"
"This the initiation? Ain't no changing your mind now." They chased him like dogs with blood in their teeth. Jalen didn't slow down. He couldn't. One wrong move, one stumble, and they'd catch him. And if they caught him...
No!
He didn't want to think about that. Instead, he focused on the old warehouse at the end of the block. It had been abandoned for years, windows boarded up, rust streaking down the corrugated steel walls. People said it used to be part of some government project. THUNDER something. But now it was just another dead building in a dying neighborhood. Perfect hiding spot. Jalen hopped a broken fence, landing hard on the other side. He sprinted to a side door and yanked the handle. Locked.
"Come on!"
He hissed, heart pounding like a war drum.
"Come on!"
He kicked the door. Once. Twice. It creaked. Then, snap. The rusted bolt gave way. He slipped inside and slammed it behind him. Darkness swallowed him whole. He held his breath, pressed his back to the wall, and listened. Outside, footsteps skidded to a stop.
"He went in there,"
one of the boys growled.
"You go first." "Nah, man, that place ain't right. You heard the story."
After a few tense moments, their voices faded into the distance. Jalen exhaled. Silence. He fished his phone from his pocket, flicked on the flashlight, and scanned the room. Dust, cobwebs, broken desks, crates with faded government stamps. He crept forward.
"Looks like nothing but junk,"
he whispered. Then his light caught something. A steel door, different from the others, clean, untouched by time. A glowing red panel blinked beside it. Jalen stepped closer. The panel scanned him. He didn't know how, didn't care, and beeped. The door hissed open.
"What the?"
He stepped inside and froze. The lab looked like something out of a superhero movie. Silver walls, smooth consoles, blinking lights, and in the center, a mannequin. No, not a mannequin. A suit, sleek, black with electric blue veins running through it. Not armor, more like a second skin. Like it had been built for someone fast. Like it had been built for him. He didn't know why, but the second he saw it, he knew. His fingers twitched. The air buzzed with invisible energy. He took a step closer, then another. On the pedestal beside the suit, a plaque read, THUNDER, Prototype V1. Project, Lightning for Emergency Use Only. Jalen looked around the lab.
"Emergency enough for me,"
he muttered. He reached out and touched the suit. The world exploded. Blue light wrapped around him, crackling like fire. The suit leapt from the stand and gripped his body, piece by piece. It adjusted to him, clinging to his skin, humming with power. His heartbeat doubled, then tripled. He gasped, then he moved. One blink, he was across the room. Another, and back again. Faster than thought, faster than fear. He stopped, panting, staring at his hands, now glowing faintly with energy.
"No way!"
he breathed.
"No freaking way!"
Then, he heard the door slam open behind him. The Parkside boys. Too late. Jalen grinned.
Y'all should have stayed outside.
He took off like a bullet, the air warping around him, electricity streaking in his wake. Tonight, Jalen Watts stopped running from the streets. Tonight, he started running for something bigger. Tonight, lightning was born. Chapter 2. Jalen Watts was dying. He didn't need a doctor to tell him. He could feel it in his chest, a sharp, burning pressure, like 1,000 heartbeats crashing all at once. His lungs begged for air, but each breath felt like lightning ripping through his ribs. The world around him moved like molasses, slow and warped, like a dream slipping out of control. He stumbled down an alleyway, one hand clutching his chest, the other dragging along the brick wall for balance. His legs twitched like live wires. The suit clinging to his body, the one he found in the secret lab, was glowing brighter now, every vein of blue light pulsing faster than the last.
Help!
He croaked. Nobody heard. The neighborhood was silent, empty. His body collapsed, knees hit pavement, then face. Everything turned white hot, then dim.
This is it.
He thought.
I ran too fast, too far. This suit, it's too much.
Then he saw her, a silhouette, tall, calm, walking straight toward him as if time meant nothing to her. Her voice sliced through the haze.
You're not dying, Jalen. You're adapting.
His eyes fluttered, barely open.
Who?
She knelt beside him, smooth brown skin, silver and purple suit, a strange glowing symbol etched into her forehead, like a crown made of thought. Her voice echoed inside his head and around it at the same time.
My name is Mentor,
she said.
I'm here to help.
He tried to speak, but the pain hit again. His body jerked. A burst of speed sent his limbs twitching like static across a TV screen.
Stay still,
she said, her fingers pressing gently to his temples. In that moment, everything stopped. Not just the movement, everything. Time halted. The wind froze mid-whistle. A pigeon hovering mid-flight became a painting. Jalen's pulse dropped from hurricane to whisper. Inside the silence, he heard her thoughts. Clear, controlled, focused like a laser beam.
Your body is sinking with the suit, but your mind's still catching up.
His voice, too weak to speak aloud, came as a whisper of thought.
I'm gonna blow up.
No,
she answered.
You're gonna level up.
With one wave of her hand, they disappeared in a blink of violet light. When the world snapped back into motion, Jalen found himself somewhere else. He was lying on a steel table inside a circular chamber. Lights danced across the curved ceiling. Around him, massive screens showed maps, threat levels, energy readings. The air buzzed, not like the streets of Southside, but like something high-tech, deep underground. Jalen sat up slowly.
Where am I?
Mentor stood nearby, arms crossed, calm as ever.
You're in the Citadel,
she said.
the new headquarters of the super agents.
Super who?
Super agents,
She repeated.
a reborn initiative. Decades ago, there was a group called THUNDER, the Higher United Nations Defense Enforcement Reserves. They built suits, recruited operatives, fought impossible threats.
Jalen blinked.
You saying I joined a secret superhero squad?
You didn't join.
She said, walking closer.
You activated. That suit chose you, Jalen. Or rather, the pulse inside it did.
He looked down at the glowing suit still latched to his body.
This thing nearly killed me.
Mentor nodded.
It could have, but it didn't. That's why we brought you in. You survived the pulse. Now you have to learn how to control it.
Jalen stood. His legs still felt shaky, but the pain had faded. His body hummed with restrained power, like a car engine just waiting to roar.
So what happens now?
She pointed to a door. It slid open. Inside was a long hallway lined with glass panels. Behind each one, people trained, sparring, running, analyzing tech. One man burst into flames. Another split into copies of himself. At the far end, a teenage girl moved a floating sphere with her mind. Jalen stepped into the hallway, eyes wide.
These people, they're like me?
Mentor smiled.
No, you're like them.
He turned to her.
What do I call you? Like, what's your deal?
She touched the symbol on her forehead.
I'm a psychic tactician. I move minds instead of muscles. They call me mentor.
Jalen grinned.
I guess that makes me lightning?
Mentor gave a nod.
You've got the name. Now let's see if you can live up to it.
From the far end of the hall, a voice rang out. Yo, fresh meat! A tall boy with dark sunglasses and a sleeveless hoodie waved from the gym floor. Sparks jumped from his fingers as he called out, Mentor, you bringing us another speedster?
Everyone,
Mentor said, her voice loud and clear.
this is Jalen Watts, codename Lightning.
Jalen felt the pressure settle in his chest again, but not from panic, from purpose. He cracked his knuckles.
All right then.
He took a deep breath and ran toward his future. Chapter 3. The Citadel was quiet in the early morning hours. Training pods dimmed, screens faded into standby mode. Somewhere deep underground, beneath layers of concrete and secrets, Jalen Watts sat alone in a cold silver chamber that looked like a mix between a meditation room and a supercomputer. His reflection shimmered in the curved glass of the wall in front of him. The suit clung to his body like skin, humming faintly. Blue veins of light pulsed from his collar to his fingertips.
You feel that?
Came Mentor's voice from behind him, calm, steady, always knowing more than she let on. Jalen didn't turn, he just nodded slowly.
Yeah, it's like someone else is in my head.
She stepped into the chamber, her boots soft against the metal floor.
That's because there is.
Jalen finally turned, frowning.
You said the suit chose me. You said I survived the pulse.
And you did. But there's more you need to know.
She raised her hand, and a panel slid down from the wall behind her. A hologram flickered to life. A man appeared, black, tall, broad-shouldered, and older, maybe in his 30s. His stance was solid, his eyes fierce, his smile small but strong.
This,
Mentor said,
was the original Lightning, codename Agent Miles Cortez, one of the fastest men on Earth, one of the first super agents. He died in 1987, a mission gone sideways in Warsaw, no remains, no funeral, no closure.
Jalen stared at the man. The face looked unfamiliar, and yet...
I've seen him before.
Jalen said slowly.
In flashes, dreams. But not like dreams, like deja vu.
Mentor nodded.
That's because your mind is syncing with his. When Agent Cortez was recruited, THUNDER installed a neural backup system into the suit, an experimental protocol. In case he ever fell in the field, his mind, his memories, instincts, reflexes could be preserved.
She paused.
And passed on.
Jalen stood up, fists clenched.
You saying I'm wearing a dead guy's brain?
No,
She said softly.
you're wearing your brain, but it's learning from his.
The room went still. The only sound was the soft electric pulse of the suit on his skin. Jalen took a shaky breath.
I thought this was just about speed. Being fast. Running away from everything I used to be.
He looked down at his hands. They were trembling.
But now, I don't even know which thoughts are mine.
Then it's time to figure that out.
Mentor said. She stepped forward and touched his temple with 2 fingers.
Sit.
He obeyed.
Close your eyes.
He did. She whispered a single word.
Sink.
And the world cracked open. It was like falling into lightning. Memories rushed in, but they weren't his. He stood in Warsaw, rain pouring down, soldiers shouting in Russian. He was racing up walls, dodging bullets, laughing in the face of death. He saw a woman's face, someone Agent Cortez loved just before the blast. Then, darkness. Then, Jalen's mother, her voice humming in the kitchen.
Don't burn that toast, Jay. Boy, why you always running late? Don't let this city swallow you.
Then, a burning alley. His first real fight. The scream of the little boy he saved. The images blended, the emotions tangled. He opened his eyes, heart pounding like a war drum. Mentor stood beside him, calm as ever.
It's not about separating the thoughts,
She said.
It's about claiming them. Cortez's instincts are part of you now. But the decisions, the courage, that's all Jalen wants.
He stood, still shaking. But this time, it wasn't from fear. It was from power.
This is too big.
He said.
I'm just some kid from Southside Union.
You're the new Lightning, and this suit didn't pick you by accident.
Jalen looked up at the hologram of Miles Cortez. Then he looked at his own reflection. Blue lines pulsing, lightning just beneath the skin. He nodded.
All right then, let's figure out what comes next.
From behind a mirrored wall, a man watched the boy. White hair, dark suit, eyes like stone. He tapped a finger against the control panel.
Mentor's moving fast with this one,
He muttered.
Let's hope the kid holds together.
Another voice, distorted and low, responded through the comms.
He's the only candidate who survived activation. We don't have the luxury of starting over.
The man stared at Jalen.
Then God help us all if the ghost takes control.
Chapter 4. The training deck of the Citadel was nothing like the streets of Southside Union. It was cleaner, brighter, and humming with energy. Not the kind that came from streetlights or traffic, but something deeper, something alive. Jalen Watts stood at the edge of the deck, looking out across a battlefield built from shifting steel walls, digital terrain, and glowing drones that hovered like angry wasps. A massive glass dome arched overhead, tinted to keep the outside world from ever peeking in. It felt like standing inside a video game, one designed to break you.
Eyes up, rookie.
The voice was deep and sharp, like gravel in a blender. Jalen turned. The man walking toward him was built like a tank in a trench coat, muscles wrapped in armor, salt and pepper beard, eyes like carved stone. Ace Harlem, a legend.
Name's Ace. No, mister. No, sir. Just Ace. If you call me coach, I'll make you run until your toenails fall off.
Jalen swallowed.
Got it.
Ace paced in front of him like a drill sergeant.
I've trained agents for 25 years. The best, the toughest. You don't make it through my program unless you bleed for it. So don't think your little suit makes you special.
I didn't say I was special.
Jalen muttered. Ace glared.
Good. Because I don't train kids. I train soldiers. You want to wear that badge? You earn it.
He pointed to the far wall, where a cluster of spherical drones hovered in a triangle formation. Their red eyes blinked with menace.
You see those?
Yeah.
They're programmed to tag anything that moves slower than 180 miles per hour. You don't move fast enough, you get zapped. You don't move smart enough, you get fried. Your goal is to hit the beacon at the center of the course before they tag you.
Jalen nodded.
That it?
That's the easy part.
Ace said.
Now go.
Jalen took one deep breath. The suit around him buzzed, and he ran. The world snapped sideways. One blink, and he was already 20 yards in. The drones responded instantly, spinning and firing bolts of electric blue light. He ducked one, backflipped over another, and slid under a low wall so fast it hadn't even finished rising. The suit synced with his brain, but the thoughts, those were all him. He didn't just run fast. He saw angles, calculated openings, mapped the entire course in a second flat. He launched off a wall, turned midair, grabbed a baton, and tossed it behind him, taking out a drone in a flash. Ace watched from the control booth, his arms crossed.
Kid's good.
He muttered. Mentor's voice crackled over the speaker.
Told you, he's not just fast, he's fluid. Lightning doesn't ask for permission, it just moves.
Jalen zipped up a vertical shaft, flipped off the ceiling, and landed in a crouch right in front of the beacon. He pressed his hand to it. It lit up green.
Trial complete.
The system announced.
Time, 2.4 seconds.
Jalen stood, panting just a little. Sweat ran down his forehead, but his smile was wide. Ace walked over, slow and steady, his expression unreadable.
You ever done combat drills before?
Nope.
Do you solve puzzles like that often?
Just math class.
You've got instincts.
Ace said.
But instincts fade under pressure. Let's see how you handle thinking fast when lives are on the line.
He snapped his fingers. The floor beneath Jalen shifted. The walls changed again, becoming a maze of mirrors and flickering lights. Sirens blared. Red lights flashed.
New scenario.
Ace said.
Hostage crisis. 1 minute. 10 civilians. Find them. Save them. One mistake and you fail.
Jalen blinked.
Wait, what? Right now?
Clock's ticking, rookie.
He ran, but this time, speed wasn't enough. Doors led to dead ends. Reflections tricked him. Voices, fake cries for help, echoed from every direction. His chest tightened. Think, breathe, use your eyes. Then something clicked. He paused. Let the suit listen. The real cries were 1 octave lower. He isolated the sounds, followed the faint vibrations, moved like a whisper on wind. 45 seconds in, he found the first room. 2 simulated hostages. He sped them to safety, then vanished again. 30 seconds left. The suit tracked heat signatures now. Another trick he didn't know it could do until it needed to. One by one, he found the rest. 10 seconds left. He burst through the final wall, carrying the last 2 hostages in his arms. The room dimmed.
Scenario complete. All civilians accounted for.
Jalen exhaled, chest heaving. Ace walked toward him, slow. This time, his eyes softened, just a little.
You don't fight like a soldier,
he said.
You fight like someone who wants to protect.
Isn't that the point?
Jalen said. Ace nodded. Then he clapped Jalen hard on the shoulder.
You're still raw, still reckless. But if you keep moving like that, we just might make a real agent out of you.
Jalen grinned.
Told you, I'm not just some kid.
Ace chuckled, walking away.
No, you're lightning.
Chapter 5. Jalen ran, faster than headlights, faster than sirens, faster than the ache in his chest. The night sky over Southside Union was thick with smoke, but Jalen didn't stop to look. Rooftops blurred beneath him. His sneakers barely touched the concrete. He was nothing but a streak of blue lightning zipping through the city. But no matter how fast he ran, the truth stayed with him. Dre was behind bars. Dre, his best friend since 2nd grade. The one who always had his back, even when the rest of the world didn't. The one who helped him survive school fights, empty fridges, and broken streetlights. Now he was in county lockup for something he didn't do. Robbery, they said. Armed, violent. The news anchor on Channel 5 called Dre a known affiliate of the Parkside crew. It was a lie. Jalen had been there 2 hours before the arrest. Dre had been with his grandma at the pharmacy, picking up her insulin, but no one listened. No one cared. He shot across the train yard, the air screaming in his ears.
They locked up the wrong one,
Jalen thought.
and I can get him out.
He skidded to a stop on the edge of a rooftop, looking down at the jail across the street. The tall wire fence, the watchtowers, the pale glow of floodlights. It looked like a fortress. But it wasn't faster than him. He could be in and out in less than 3 seconds. He knew the layout now. Menthor had shown him blueprints of lockups like it during a training sim. If he bypassed the alarms, he could phase into the building, pop Dre's cell door, carry him out, and be gone before the guards even blinked. Easy, but illegal.
Damn it!
Jalen whispered. A storm rumbled above him. Lightning flashed in the clouds. echoing the pulse beneath his skin. Do I break the rules, or do I let Dre rot while they figure out the truth? A flicker of movement caught his eye, down in the alley below. 2 black vans screeched to a stop. The doors burst open. Armed men in tactical gear poured out, faces hidden by skull-patterned masks. They moved fast, smooth, like soldiers. On their backs, a black rook chess piece. The Black Rook. Mentor had warned him about them. A new player in Southside. Organized. Brutal. Smart. They weren't just criminals. They were claiming turf. Whole blocks. And now they were making a move right outside the jail. Jalen dropped to a crouch, watching from above. One of the masked men pulled out a signal jammer the size of a lunchbox. Another wired a door with explosives.
They're not here for Dre,
He realized.
they're here for something bigger.
Then the pieces clicked. They were here to free someone. Someone dangerous. Jalen tapped the comm in his ear.
Mentor, we've got a problem. Black Rook's hitting the precinct.
Her voice was calm, but sharp.
Backup's 15 minutes out. You're alone for now.
Jalen's stomach twisted. He could run, or he could fight. A deep breath. He jumped. The suit lit up, blue veins sparking as he landed in the middle of the alley like a lightning strike.
Yo,
He shouted.
you forgot to knock.
The first 2 Black Rook soldiers raised their rifles. Too slow. Jalen moved. One moment, he was standing still. The next, the rifles were in pieces and their owners were unconscious, sprawled against the wall. The others moved fast, but not fast enough. Jalen zipped left, throwing a garbage can lid like a frisbee. It took down a 3rd guy. He dodged bullets like they were lazy snowflakes and disarmed a 4th with a spin kick that would have made Ace proud. Then one of them grabbed the detonator. Boom! The side of the jail blew open. Smoke, screams, fire alarms, panic. Too late. From the smoke, a tall figure emerged. 6'6", shoulders like a bulldozer, eyes glowing behind a Black Rook mask.
This wasn't just a soldier. This was a commander.
Kid,
The man said, voice like gravel.
you picked the wrong night.
You picked the wrong city.
Jalen shot back. They clashed, fist to fist. Shockwaves with every blow. Jalen darted around the man like electricity, landing punches faster than the eye could follow. But the commander took them like bricks. Then, a backhand sent Jalen flying through a parked car. The suit crackled. His ribs screamed.
Sync rate dropping.
The suit warned.
Neural integrity at 62%.
Jalen staggered to his feet, blood on his lip. Vision doubled.
But he remembered something. Don't just be fast, be smart.
He ran, not at the commander, but around him. Circles, faster, faster, until he was nothing but a blur. The vacuum of his speed pulled oxygen from the air. The smoke vanished. The commander stumbled, choking. Jalen reappeared behind him.
Checkmate.
He whispered, and struck the back of his helmet with everything the suit had left. The commander dropped. The sirens wailed louder. Cops poured out of the busted wall.
Jalen disappeared into the night.
Hours later, Jalen stood on the roof of his old apartment building. Mentor's voice echoed in his ear.
We got your friend released. Security footage confirmed he was innocent. The city owes you one.
Jalen didn't smile. He looked down at the city, broken, buzzing, boiling with injustice.
I was gonna break him out.
He admitted.
I almost did.
But you didn't. You chose justice over revenge.
He didn't answer right away. Then he said,
What kind of hero does that make me?
There was a pause.
The kind who's still deciding.
She said. He nodded and disappeared into the wind. Chapter 6.
Jalen stood in front of the mission transport, heart pounding like a drumline. This was it.
No more simulations, no more sparring sessions or shadow drills. This was real. He zipped up his suit, black and electric blue, still warm from its latest sync with his nervous system, and turned to the 4 figures waiting beside him. Legends, each one.
Mentor stood calmly, eyes half closed, already in sync with the team's neural links. Her voice was inside his head, now more than his ears.
Stay sharp. We are walking into unknown territory.
Iron Maiden leaned against the wall, polishing the gauntlet on her left arm, its surface a mix of gold plating and scuffed old-world tech.
Kid better not get us killed.
Relax,
said Vulcan, flexing his arm where cybernetic muscle met flesh.
We all had a first mission once.
Raven, silent as always, stood with his back to them, the long black feathers of his armored cloak shifting ever so slightly in the wind. He was more shadow than man, more myth than soldier. Jalen took a breath.
I'm ready,
he said. Mentor's eyes snapped open.
Then let's move.
The mission took them to the edge of the Nevada desert. Under an abandoned missile silo, deep below ground, was what used to be a SPIDER vault, a hidden storage facility from the days of Cold War and cosmic arms races. It had been sealed for years, until now. Now Blackrook had it, and they were using what was inside. Alien tech, stolen weapons, lost science, things humanity wasn't supposed to have. The elevator rattled as it descended into the darkness.
Cameras down,
Raven said in a low growl.
They knew we were coming.
That's not good,
Vulcan muttered. Iron Maiden cracked her knuckles.
I'm hoping they are home. I need to stretch.
The elevator doors creaked open. The vault was massive, like a buried city carved from steel. Stasis pods lined the walls. Alien artifacts floated in containment cubes. But the air was wrong. Too quiet. Then the lights flickered, and the alarms screamed. Red floodlights bathed the room. Turrets dropped from the ceiling. Drones zipped from the walls like hornets. The vault had been turned into a trap.
Move!
Raven barked. Everything exploded into motion. Jalen blurred into action, a streak of blue weaving between gunfire and flame. He was too fast to target, but the others weren't. Iron Maiden took a hit, sparks flying from her armor. Vulcan smashed a drone with one punch, but more kept coming. Mentor froze two bots midair with a psychic blast, but her focus wavered. Jalen saw it all, too much, too fast. A plasma charge arced toward Raven's blind side. No time to shout. Jalen moved. He caught the blast midair, absorbing the shock in his chest plate, and flew backward into a support beam.
Kid!
Iron Maiden shouted, but Jalen was already up.
I'm good.
He gasped, his ribs screaming otherwise. Mentor's voice cut in through the team link.
The power grid's unstable. They've rerouted alien energy into the vault's walls. If we don't disable the core, this place goes nuclear in 6 minutes.
Raven sliced through two drones with his energy blades.
Where's the core?
Lower level, but there's no clear path.
Jalen's eyes flicked around the room. His mind raced, drawing lines between objects, calculating distances, exits, timing. A plan formed, fast and fragile.
I can get there,
he said. Vulcan shook his head.
It's suicide. Too many moving turrets.
I'm the only one fast enough.
Jalen replied, stepping back, already winding up.
Cover me.
Iron Maiden looked at him. For once, not with annoyance, but respect.
Make it count.
Jalen ran. The world slowed to a crawl. Every turret, every drone, every flicker of energy. He saw it all, like a frozen river of danger. He dodged a razor trap by 1 inch, slid under a collapsing walkway, vaulted off a drone mid-air. The pulse inside the suit roared like a thunderstorm. Then he was there. The reactor pulsed green and red, unstable. The interface hovered, alien language flickering.
You're not Cortez,
the suit whispered.
But you've got his instincts.
Jalen placed both hands on the console. Trust the pulse. He moved his fingers, faster than thought. Symbols aligned, energy rerouted, core stabilized. A heartbeat later, the alarm stopped. The red lights faded. The turrets powered down. Silence. Then,
Mission complete,
said the vault's AI voice. The rest of the team found him minutes later, crouched on one knee, breathing heavy. Raven gave a slow nod.
That was Cortez-level thinking.
Jalen smiled.
I'm not Cortez.
He stood.
I'm Lightning.
Back in the transport, battered and bruised, Jalen sat beside Iron Maiden. She looked at him and muttered,
Not bad for a kid.
Vulcan handed him a water bottle.
You saved all our asses.
Menthor gave a faint smile.
I told you, lightning doesn't wait for permission, it just strikes.
Jalen looked out the window, the desert sun rising on the horizon. He wasn't running away from anything anymore.
Now he was running towards something. Chapter 7.
The mission was supposed to be simple, in and out, a recon job, no contact, no noise, but nothing ever stayed simple for long. Jalen's breath came in short bursts as he crouched behind a fallen transport shuttle, his heart pounding against the inside of his ribs like it wanted to escape. His suit flickered with electric blue veins, the sync ratio fluctuating wildly across his HUD. Smoke stung his nose. The warehouse behind him was a war zone, flames licking up the walls, rubble everywhere. And scattered across the floor were the twisted remains of Black Rook drones, sparking and twitching.
Menthor!
He called into the comms.
Raven's down! I'm pinned at the south wing!
Only static answered. Something was jamming their signal.
Too fast, too loud, too wrong.
He'd seen it, half a second before it happened. The tripwire under the floor panel, the explosive charge rigged to the support column. He'd yelled, but it was too late. The blast took Raven and Vulcan through the wall. Now, half the team was unaccounted for, and Jalen was stuck with a warning blaring in his ear. Neural overload imminent. Memory sync spike detected. His vision flickered. Then the world changed. Suddenly, he wasn't in the warehouse. He was somewhere else. A memory not his own. Dark, cold, snow falling hard on a rooftop in Eastern Europe. Agent Cortez, the original Lightning, was there, wounded and alone, dragging himself across the roof tiles, one arm clutching his side. Jalen felt it all, the pain, the fear, the betrayal crawling under his skin. A voice echoed behind Cortez, familiar, calm, trusted.
You shouldn't have come back, Miles.
Cortez turned.
A shadow stepped from the snowstorm, face hidden under a black tactical mask. But the voice, Jalen recognized it.
Menthor, but it wasn't his mentor.
Not quite.
You leaked the vault location.
Cortez said, breath shaky.
You sold us out to SPIDER.
The masked figure nodded slowly.
You always ran faster than the truth.
Boom. A sniper shot rang out. Cortez dropped, and the memory vanished in a blaze of white. Jalen came to gasping, body jerking upright. He was still in the warehouse, shielded behind the wreckage.
The HUD blinked with alerts.
Neural sync complete. Cortez file fragment recovered.
What the helly?
Jalen whispered.
Menthor's voice came crackling back through the comms.
Jalen, status report. Are you hit?
He stared at his comm, fingers trembling.
Her voice sounded normal, steady, caring.
But in the memory, someone like her, was the traitor. He swallowed.
I'm good. Minor shock. Coming to you now.
His mind raced even faster than his body.
Was it a glitch, a lie, or a truth buried in the pulse?
He found the others regrouping in the north wing, under a broken light strip buzzing above them. Raven leaned against the wall, his left arm in a sling. Vulcan was covered in soot, but still breathing. Menthor looked up as Jalen arrived, her eyes sharp.
You're limping,
she said.
Adrenaline's masking most of it,
he muttered.
She stepped forward, reaching for him.
He pulled back, just a half inch, but she noticed.
Her brow furrowed.
What did you see?
She asked softly.
Jalen's heart stopped.
You said we weren't supposed to see full sync fragments, But I just did. Cortez's last mission.
Menthor's eyes darkened.
Sometimes the suit glitches under stress, especially with someone new to the neural feed.
Was it a glitch? Or a warning?
Vulcan turned, his expression wary.
What's he talking about?
Raven pushed off the wall.
He's saying one of us sold out Cortez.
Jalen looked at Menthor. She didn't flinch, but she didn't deny it either.
The memory's incomplete,
she said carefully.
or you don't have all the facts.
Then give me the rest, now.
Before she could answer, the building shook. A low rumble rose from beneath their feet. Raven's voice went hard.
This place is about to collapse. We move now. Talk later.
Jalen hesitated, just long enough to see the flicker in Menthor's eyes. Regret or guilt. I don't know who to trust anymore. They emerged into the night, the warehouse caving in behind them. Police drones circled the sky. Their mission had been compromised, and not just by the enemy,
by the truth. Jalen stood apart from the team, staring at the stars overhead.
The pulse stirred inside him, full of memories that didn't belong to him, secrets that weren't supposed to surface.
He clenched his fists.
I'm not just a suit,
he said to himself.
I'm not just a shadow of Cortez.
He looked toward the others, their silhouettes lit by the glow of burning rubble.
I'm lightning, and I decide who I become.
Chapter 8. The challenge came at noon. A hacked broadcast took over every screen in the city. Phones, billboards, even hospital monitors. The image crackled, then sharpened. A figure appeared, skinny, twisted. Electric red suit that buzzed with unstable energy. Neon streaks pulsed through the air around him like heat waves in July. He grinned with teeth too white and too sharp.
Yo, Southside.
The man hissed, voice distorted through digital filters.
Name's Blur. Maybe you've heard of me. Maybe you haven't. Either way, you're about to.
He stepped forward, eyes gleaming.
There's a new speedster in town. Calls himself Lightning. Cute name, but I don't do cute. I do chaos.
The screen shook as he raised one trembling hand.
I'm calling you out, Lightning. Downtown. 1 hour. You run or you hide. Either way, I'm painting the city in red.
The message ended,
and the city held its breath. Inside the Citadel, alarms were already blaring. Jalen stood in the center of the war room, fists clenched, heart thudding in his chest. The lights above flickered in time with his heartbeat, the suit pulsing brighter than ever before. Menthor stepped forward.
It's a trap, you know that.
Yeah,
Jalen said, jaw tight.
But I don't care.
Blur's not like you,
Raven said, arms crossed.
He's chemically enhanced. No suit. Just raw speed pumped into his bloodstream. And zero control.
Vulcan slammed a metal fist into his palm.
He's a walking time bomb.
Jalen looked around at the team.
He wants a public fight? Fine, I'll give him one, but it ends today.
Menthor locked eyes with him.
You go out there, you might not come back.
Jalen didn't blink.
If I don't, no one else will.
The street was empty by the time Jalen arrived.
Downtown had been evacuated, cars abandoned, shop doors blown open by the wind. The sky overhead was low and gray, clouds hanging like a ceiling, ready to fall. Jalen stood in the middle of the boulevard, waiting. Then he heard it, a screech like a jet engine ripping through steel. A red blur tore down the street and stopped.
Blur stood only 10 feet away now, sweating, twitching, grinning like a madman.
You're smaller than I thought,
he said, pacing in tight circles.
But that's okay. Small things break easier.
Jalen narrowed his eyes.
You've got two options, Blur. Turn around and disappear, or get broken.
Oh, I like you.
Then Blur vanished. Jalen barely had time to react.
The first punch hit like a shotgun to the ribs. He went flying, rolling across pavement that peeled back from the force. He coughed, already tasting blood. The suit responded fast, healing pads deploying, muscles reinforced.
You like that?
Blur shouted, circling him at sonic speeds.
I've got 12 syringes in my system right now. One more and I start vibrating through walls.
Jalen got to his feet.
Let's test that theory.
He exploded forward. The city became a blur of glass, steel, and motion. They ran, faster than bullets, faster than thought. Jalen dodged buses, leapt through a construction zone, sprinted up the side of a building, and back down again. Blur stayed right behind him, then in front, then beside him, throwing punches that left sonic cracks in the air. The fight tore through downtown like a hurricane. A news chopper hovered overhead, broadcasting everything live. Jalen knew it wasn't just a battle anymore. It was a message. People needed to see what justice looked like, so he pushed harder, faster, too fast. The suit screamed in his ear.
Pulse overload, neural strain at 92%. Warning, heart function unstable.
He gritted his teeth. Not yet. Blur lunged, aiming for Jalen's throat. Jalen ducked, dropped low, and slid under him. Then, with a burst of blue light, he flipped behind him and landed a two-handed punch to Blur's back. The shockwave shattered nearby windows. Blur crashed through a city fountain, skidding across pavement until he hit a parked police cruiser and didn't get up. Jalen staggered, chest rising and falling like thunder. Sirens echoed in the distance. People emerged from hiding. Cheers started to rise. But Jalen didn't hear them. His heart slammed against his ribs. Too fast, too loud. He dropped to one knee.
Critical arrhythmia detected.
The suit warned.
Emergency sync brake recommended.
He gasped.
Do it!
Pain tore through him as the suit desynced, peeling away its connection from his nervous system. He collapsed onto the street. Menthor's voice crackled through his earpiece.
Jalen, what's your status?
His voice was a whisper.
I won, but I think it broke me.
Darkness swept in. He woke up hours later in the Citadel infirmary, wires running from his chest. Monitors beeped softly beside him. Menthor sat at his side, her hand gently resting on his arm.
You nearly died?
He looked at her.
I had to win.
You did.
She said.
But next time, you may not walk away.
He turned his head toward the ceiling, voice quiet.
Was it worth it?
She hesitated, then said,
That's a question only lightning can answer.
Chapter 9. The hum of the medical scanner echoed through the Citadel infirmary like a slow drumbeat. It read every breath Jalen took, every twitch of his heart, every crack in his frame that shouldn't have been there. The light above flickered, casting a sickly blue shadow across his face. He hated that room. Too still, too quiet, no speed, no motion, just waiting. A soft voice broke the silence.
He's not ready for another mission.
Menthor. Standing at the foot of his bed, arms crossed tight, forehead creased with worry.
Iron Maiden, his vitals are unstable. His heart rate spikes every time the suit even warms up. Another burst like last time and he's not coming back.
Iron Maiden stood across the room, armored arms folded, chin up.
He beat Blur. He saved half the city doing it.
And almost killed himself. We can't keep pushing him like this.
He's not a porcelain doll. He's a super agent.
He's a kid,
Menthor said, voice low.
I was fighting wars at his age.
Iron Maiden growled. Menthor stepped forward.
And what did that cost you?
Silence. Only the soft beep of Jalen's heart monitor filled the air. But he heard it all, every word. They thought he was asleep. He wasn't. He stared at the ceiling, eyes wide open, muscles aching like they were carved from stone. His lungs felt like they were wrapped in wire. But the worst part wasn't the pain. It was not moving. He clenched his jaw and waited until their voices faded down the hall. He was gone 15 minutes later. No alarms, no flashes, just a single open window and a suit that barely held itself together. The sink hurt like knives in his veins, but Jalen gritted his teeth. One more run. The city was already dying. Streetlights flickered, one by one. Power grids collapsed block after block like dominoes. The Black Rook had launched their final plan, a citywide blackout, timed perfectly for chaos. They weren't here to just steal anymore. They were here to erase. Emergency sirens whined across Southside. Stores were being looted. Hospitals were going dark. Gangs took to the streets, masked and loaded with alien tech scavenged from vaults. And in the center of it all, rising from the chaos like a nightmare, stood a spire of black metal built from stolen parts. Jalen crouched on a rooftop across the street, gasping for air. The suit whined in his ear.
Warning! Cardiac integrity at 32%. Speed limiter failure. Risk of system-wide failure. Critical.
He whispered.
Override limiter.
Override denied. User vitals.
Override!
He shouted. The suit hissed, then complied. A rush of power surged through him like a tidal wave. He screamed. The pain was everywhere, hot, loud, alive. Then stillness, a single heartbeat, and he moved. Jalen was a blur through the chaos, a streak of blue fire tearing through the streets as looters turned in panic. He disarmed a gang robbing a pharmacy, saved a woman trapped under a fallen sign, kicked a stolen hoverbike into a dumpster before it mowed down a food line. Every movement cost him, every second made his heart rattle harder. He gripped his chest once, twice, almost dropped to a knee. Then he saw it, the tower, at its base, 5 Black Rook soldiers arming a device the size of a car engine, pulsing with violet energy. EMP bomb, he realized. Wipe out everything. Grids, backup power, even super agent comms. No one else could stop it. He ran, time bent. Jalen shot across the street like a railgun, clothes rippling from the sheer pressure. One soldier turned, too slow. Jalen hit him mid-tackle, flipped, spun, kicked a second across the wall. The device started beeping. Faster, faster. Jalen screamed and ripped open the panel. Alien code, pulsing light, wires everywhere. No time to guess. He closed his eyes, let the pulse think. Let Cortez's memories surge. There, he yanked 3 wires. The device fizzled and shut down. Jalen exhaled, then collapsed. He woke up in the arms of Iron Maiden. Her voice was shaky, but proud.
You stupid, brilliant little idiot.
Menthor was at his side, already syncing with the suit, regulating his vitals.
You could have died,
she said.
Yeah,
he rasped.
but the city didn't.
Later, he sat on the roof of the Citadel, blanket over his shoulders, chest aching like a thunderclap. The stars shimmered faintly overhead, the blackout still draining the city's life. Raven appeared beside him, quiet as always. Jalen didn't look up.
I can't keep doing this,
he said.
It's killing me.
Raven nodded.
Maybe, but the people you save, they're still breathing because of you.
Jalen looked down at his hands, still trembling.
Then I better figure out how to survive it.
Raven's cloak shifted in the wind.
You're not just lightning,
he said.
You're the storm that follows.
Jalen smiled, just a little. Chapter 10. Jalen stood at the edge of the Citadel's rooftop. The city stretched out before him like a cracked mirror. Southside shimmered in the half-light of a dying power grid. One last blackout after a week of chaos, fear, and fire. The people below were holding their breath, and so was he. In his chest, his heart beat slow, then fast, then slow again, stuttering like a broken engine. Every breath hurt, every blink felt like a countdown. He had minutes, maybe seconds, before the suit shut him down completely. And still, he smiled. The voice of the suit whispered in his ear,
Neural sync declining. Legacy memory fragment at 9%. Recommends stasis and shutdown.
No!
Jalen whispered.
I'm not a memory! I'm not a copy!
He looked down at his gloved hand. Blue light flickered along his fingers, faint, unstable, but still burning.
I'm me!
He closed his eyes and felt the last pieces of Miles Cortez fade away. No more visions, no more ghost instincts, no more borrowed courage. Just Jalen Watts, 15 years old. Southside, born and raised, and still standing. The city was about to fall. The Black Rook's last gambit was already in motion. An energy wave buried beneath the streets, ready to surge through every transformer and substation, turning the entire grid into a bomb. This wasn't about money anymore. It was about erasure. Wipe the slate clean, rewrite power, rule through fear. The team had done their part. Iron Maiden took down a weapons convoy. Vulcan stalled the tower's defense grid, and Raven neutralized the ground troops without a sound. But only Jalen could reach the core. It was buried 50 stories beneath City Hall, inside a reinforced magnetic field that scrambled any tech. The suit wouldn't survive a full sink inside it. But Jalen? He didn't need the suit to survive. He needed it to listen. He dropped down the elevator shaft like a bullet, feet first, sparks dancing off the walls. The city screamed above him. Time slowed. Then he landed, hard. The core chamber was massive, walls lined with rotating turbines, energy pulsing in every direction. At the center, the device, a crystalline generator humming like it was alive. Cables snaked around it like metal vines. Above it, a timer ticked down. 30 seconds, 29 seconds, 28 seconds, 27 seconds. He ran, dodged a laser trap, vaulted over an electrified pipe, skidded under a collapsing girder. The suit flared again.
Vitals unstable. Neural threshold exceeded.
Jalen bit down, voice hoarse.
Override every limiter.
Manual override requires verbal authorization.
Authorization. I'm not him. I'm me. And I'm enough.
The suit hesitated, then...
Override accepted.
Time stopped. Then everything exploded into motion. He became pure speed. No sound, no pain, just momentum and purpose. He reached the generator at 9 seconds. His fingers danced across the console, rerouting circuits, redirecting energy. He didn't need Cortez's memories. He had his own fear, his own anger, his own hope. For Dre, for his mom, for every kid who ever thought they had to be invisible just to survive. He pulled the final cable. The core dimmed, then died. Silence. The suit flickered, then collapsed. Jalen dropped to his knees, gasping. Alive. Still him. When he came back to the surface, the sun was rising. The team stood waiting, battered, but alive. Raven nodded. Iron Maiden smiled. Menthor looked at him, her voice soft.
You did it.
He looked at the skyline, now glowing orange with dawn.
No,
he said.
We did it.
She stepped closer.
The original Lightning, he was a soldier, a symbol.
And I'm not?
Jalen said with a smirk.
You're better.
She said.
Because you didn't inherit this legacy, you rebuilt it.
He looked at the people gathering in the streets, hugging, cheering, crying. Jalen Watts, a kid from Southside, a heartbeat away from breaking, still standing, still running, still lightning. Chapter 11. Colors spun like a whirlpool, red and gold mixing into total darkness. Then, the sparks sharpened into the harsh glow of a neon sign. The words, Tony's Fix-It, blinked in tired, chipped letters, standing out against the dark city night. Time had worn it down, but it still held on. The metal pole holding up the sign had something strange on it. Not rust, not dirt. It was covered in thin, glowing threads that shimmered like lightning. These weren't regular spider webs.
They buzzed with tiny flashes of light, alive with energy. A low hum came from them, soft but steady, filling the quiet air.
One of the threads was thicker. It stretched downward, dotted with small glowing bumps that looked like frozen drops of light. A tiny spark, no bigger than a thumb, moved along the thread. It wasn't falling. It crawled like it knew where it was going, zigzagging around the glowing bumps as it made its way down. The spark finally reached the ground and touched a pair of worn red sneakers resting on the dirty street. The spark blinked, then reversed direction, zipping back up the thread like a fast-moving firefly, disappearing into the darkness. Up above, hidden in the shadows, someone hung upside down. His body formed a dark shape against the faint city light. A spark of lightning flickered between his feet. He didn't move. His arms were wrapped tightly around his knees. He was completely still, watching. The city kept going below him. Sirens wailed far away. A car rolled by, thumping bass from its speakers. People's voices floated in from nearby streets. From an alley just beneath him, a police cruiser sat parked. A soft radio voice crackled from inside it, spitting out bits of police chatter. The hanging figure's head nearly touched the roof of the cruiser. His hair brushed the metal gently as his body swayed a little, like a slow-moving pendulum. He looked like a wild animal ready to strike. But then, snore. Loud. Unexpected. Then another, even louder. Someone inside the cruiser was fast asleep. Inside the car, the driver carefully folded a greasy burger wrapper and stuffed it into a bag already full of trash.
"Did you hear that?" he asked, looking up.
His partner slurped the last of his drink. "Hear what?" "I thought I heard snoring," the driver said, listening harder. The partner looked around the alley. Dumpsters, old brick walls, graffiti everywhere. "Just city noise," he said with a shrug. "Yeah, probably," the driver said, though he still looked unsure. The radio suddenly came alive with a loud crackle. Dispatch on the radio.
"All units, we have a 1011C 763 West 49th. Please respond."
The driver perked up instantly. "Looks like we've got something. Domestic disturbance? Always a fun one."
The partner buckled his seatbelt with a click and placed his empty soda can in the cup holder with a solid thunk. The driver started the engine. It rumbled to life, drowning out the radio for a moment. He grabbed the mic, flipped on the flashing lights, and the alley lit up with red and blue strobe effects. Shadows danced across the walls like something out of a dream. "This is Bravo 10 Victor, responding to 763 West 49th, he said into the mic. "ETA approximately 5 minutes. Chapter 12. The police cruiser roared to life, its engine growling in the tight alley. The reverse lights lit up and the car backed up fast. On the roof, red and blue lights spun wildly. Smack! The light bar hit Lightning in the head.
Ouch! What the?
He groaned, feeling dizzy for a second. The cruiser spun around, sirens blaring, tires screeching as it sped out of the alley and onto West 49th Street. Lightning, still dazed, watched the car race away. Then a jolt of energy surged through him. Sparks danced in his hands. He fired a bolt of lightning after the car. It hit the street with a loud zap.
All right.
He muttered, grinning.
Time to go to work.
He launched himself from his perch like a bullet. The sirens were his guide. He moved like lightning, jumping over dumpsters, climbing walls, and sprinting across rooftops. The flashing lights of the squad car stayed in his sights. The cruiser sped through an intersection. Lightning let out a shout, then jumped high over a massive truck. The wind roared in his ears. The driver below honked in surprise.
Sorry, coming through!
Lightning yelled as he flew overhead. He twisted in the air, fired a lightning bolt at a nearby building, and zipped across the gap. He landed in a crouch and took off running again. At the edge of the roof, he jumped and landed softly on top of a city bus. Inside the bus, the driver looked up, confused. Passengers glanced around, startled by the sound of footsteps on the roof. Lightning sprinted across the top, wind whipping through his hair. He fired another lightning bolt, this time toward a distant tower, and soared again across the sky.
Woo-hoo!
He shouted, loving the chase. Down below, the police cruiser turned a corner and arrived at a jewelry store. The window had been smashed wide open, like something had crashed through it. Glass and jewelry were scattered everywhere. The cruiser skidded to a stop, both doors open. The officers inside stepped out, alert and tense. One pulled out his gun and slowly moved toward the broken storefront. Suddenly, an engine roared from inside the store. Bright headlights flared. A black Mustang burst through the opening, tires screaming. One officer squinted, frozen in the car's blinding lights. A lightning bolt zapped down from above, hit his back, and yanked him out of the way just in time.
Watch out!
Lightning shouted from a nearby lamppost. The Mustang clipped the side of the cruiser and tore off down the street. Lightning stood on the lamppost, staring after it.
Here we go again!
He muttered. He fired another bolt and took off, chasing the fleeing car like a comet through the sky. The second officer ran to check on his partner, who was dazed, but okay.
Are you okay?
Behind them, a woman carrying a bag full of stolen goods slipped out of the store and disappeared into the shadows. Inside the Mustang, two thieves wore creepy masks, one smiling, one frowning. Both held old machine guns. The driver swerved sharply, tires squealing. Lightning chased them across the rooftops. He fired a bolt, swung around a street lamp, and shot toward the side street. The police joined the chase, sirens wailing. The thief in the passenger seat leaned out the window and opened fire. Bullets hit a police car, sparking off the hood. One cruiser swerved wildly to dodge. Lightning landed on the hood of the Mustang, right in front of the driver.
Hey,
He said casually.
this taxi going uptown?
Shoot him! The driver screamed. The car swerved, the passenger fired again, and the windshield shattered. But Lightning jumped just in time. He swung away on another bolt of lightning. Then he came back, closing in with short bursts of power that let him run through the air. The Mustang swerved to pass another car, but clipped it instead. The impact spun the Mustang out of control. It jumped the curb and slammed into a brick wall with a thunderous crash. The driver stumbled out, still firing wildly. Lightning dodged and returned fire, this time with lightning. It wrapped around the man and held him in place. Lightning landed on the sidewalk as the second thief climbed onto the crumpled hood, aiming his gun. He fired, but Lightning was already gone. He dropped low, fired another bolt under the car, and yanked the thief out from under it. The thief hit the street hard. Lightning grabbed the machine gun and tossed it aside.
Hi!
He said with a grin. Two police cruisers pulled up, lights flashing. Officers jumped out, weapons drawn. They paused, staring in disbelief. The two thieves were now tied up with their own belts, dumped across the hood of the Mustang. Their masks lay nearby. "I want my lawyer," one of them mumbled. The officers looked at each other, shrugged, and holstered their weapons. Just another night in New York City.
Sir, drop your weapon, put your hands on your head, and get down on the ground.
Chapter 13. Lightning felt a tight knot in his chest as he moved through the busy United Nations campus. Students crowded around him, laughing, talking, and walking in every direction. It was a warm fall day, and the air smelled like leaves and coffee. His flannel shirt flapped open over a black t-shirt, and a stuffed book bag hung off one shoulder, threatening to fall. He weaved through groups of students sitting on the grass, some staring at their laptops, others chatting excitedly. People rushed by, arms full of notebooks, eyes locked on their next class. He passed a newspaper stand without slowing down, until one headline caught his eye. He skidded to a stop and backed up. "Jewelry snatch and grab," the front page read. Lightning's stomach dropped. He fumbled in his pocket, digging out 2 crumpled dollar bills and shoved them into the box. Then he grabbed a copy and opened it, scanning the story with rising worry. Inside a large lecture hall, the professor's voice echoed dully through the room. Lightning wasn't listening. He was staring at the newspaper in his lap, the ink smudging under his fingers, muttering,
Even with arrests, several items still missing. Thieves claim the store was already robbed before they got there. Huh, that's weird.
Some students walked past, looking for open seats. One bumped Lightning's arm.
Hey!
He mumbled, barely glancing up.
Lightning.
A loud voice snapped him to attention. A strong student clapped Lightning's hand and crushed it in a painful shake. Lightning forced a smile and looked around nervously, hoping no one else was watching.
The lecture hall had steep rows of seats leading down to the main stage. The professor came in, set down a leather briefcase, and opened his laptop. A projector screen unrolled behind him with a soft hum. The professor looked over the crowd and spotted Lightning.
Quiet down, everyone.
He gave Lightning a teasing smile.
Mr. Lightning?
Professor Farley!
Lightning replied, sounding a little embarrassed.
You planning to stay awake this time?
Lightning flushed.
Yes, sir. Got a full 8 hours last night.
He knew that was a lie, but said it anyway.
Good. Let's talk about how central governments developed from small towns.
The room darkened as the projector lit up, and the lecture began. Meanwhile, on a crowded city street, a long black limousine sat idling. Its windows were dark and impossible to see through. Suddenly, the back window slid down. Out flew a shiny red apple. It smacked a man in the back of the head as he stared at his phone. He collapsed to the ground, unconscious, his phone still glowing beside him. Inside the limo, a large hand covered in gold rings pressed a button and the window rolled up. The man inside looked out, disgusted.
Look at them. Weak, distracted fools. Even the smallest predator could destroy them.
He was dressed in an expensive black suit and a flashy tie. His thick fingers were covered in oversized rings. His face was rugged and serious, his hair graying at the sides, and his dark eyes sharp and full of judgment. Next to him, another man read a newspaper, barely paying attention.
I hear they do,
he said softly.
Do what?
The man asked, still staring out the window.
Get eaten by muggers and such.
Useless scavengers.
The man growled.
The light turned green, and the limo pulled into traffic, followed by 2 more black limos and a moving van.
The line of vehicles stopped outside a fancy hotel. Staff rushed to meet them, moving quickly and quietly. The main limo door opened, and the large man stepped out. He was tall and broad, and the suit barely contained his powerful frame. He walked past the hotel workers without a glance, heading toward the entrance. The other limos opened too. Men and women in expensive clothes got out, surveying the street like trained spies.
From the second limo stepped a stunning woman in a red dress and fur wrap. She smiled at the man in front, and he smiled back, a rare, eerie grin. Inside the hotel, their group moved through the elegant lobby. The hotel manager greeted them with a fake smile. "Welcome to the Belmont," he said.
If you need anything, my staff is available 24 hours a day.
Thank you. I will sign in now.
The man replied, his accent thick. At the front desk, a nervous clerk slid over the sign-in sheet. As the group waited by the elevators, a hotel porter pushed the up button. The elevator was slow. The man let out an annoyed growl.
Sorry, sir. It's been acting up today.
The porter said nervously.
I will take the stairs.
The man said firmly. He pointed at the man reading the newspaper.
You stay. Don't take calls or make decisions without me. Got it?
Yes, sir, the other man said, straightening his tie.
Your room is on the 12th floor.
The porter offered.
I know. I booked the whole floor.
Without waiting, he marched to the stairs and pushed through the door.
He's intense,
the porter whispered. That was him in a good mood. The man with the paper muttered. The elevator finally dinged, and the group got in. As the numbers ticked upward, 2, 3, 4, they stood in awkward silence.
Meanwhile, the man was sprinting up the stairs. His shiny shoes squeaked, but he moved like a machine, barely slowing down.
At one landing, he leapt over a maid pushing a cleaning cart. She screamed as he soared above her and landed on a handrail. From there, he climbed fast, like a man on a mission. He hit the 8th floor, panning but not slowing. He blew past the 10th floor, his eyes blazing with focus. The elevator finally reached the 12th floor. As the doors opened, he was already there, leaning against the wall, waiting.
Welcome to the Belmont Hotel,
he said with a grin, giving a mocking bow. Everyone stared, stunned.
But how? One of them stammered.
The others stepped out with calm smiles, as if they expected it.
Later, in a high-end suite with a view of the city skyline, the man stood by the window, arms behind his back. Nearby, his assistant tapped away on a tablet.
The meeting is set for 1 o'clock, right here,
he said.
Good. Home turf advantage.
It might not be enough,
the assistant warned.
Egghead is determined.
The man turned from the window.
How many shares have we bought?
470,000.
The assistant replied.
We used money meant for the San Bolivar expansion.
That can wait. We have to survive first.
If those mines don't open soon, the market will crash. People are worried.
The man scowled.
Egghead knows San Bolivar is the key. That's why he's attacking now.
Bastard.
You think talking will stop him? He's not exactly diplomatic.
I'd rather kill him,
the man said darkly.
Slowly.
The assistant paled.
But this isn't the old days,
the man added, calming slightly.
Now we fight with lawyers and accountants. I have to play by their rules.
He looked down at his hands.
These were built for war. Now I use them for paperwork. It's ridiculous.
I, for one, prefer this version of you,
the assistant said quietly.
The old you drew a lot of attention.
Chapter 14. The landlord, a round man whose keys jangled with every step, struggled to unlock a stubborn door in a rundown apartment building. After a loud click, the lock finally gave way. He pushed the door open, and it creaked painfully on its rusty hinges. Inside, the apartment was dark and sad. Torn wallpaper peeled off the walls, and the curtains were thin and gray, barely letting in the cloudy daylight. The place smelled old and stale. Lightning leaned against the doorway, holding a folded newspaper. A few rental listings were circled in red, showing just how desperate his apartment search had become. Just got this one, the landlord said with fake excitement. Brand new on the market. Lightning sniffed the air and grimaced.
Oh, wow.
Disinfectant, the landlord said. Had to clean up real good after they took out the body. You wouldn't even know.
In a different apartment, Lightning checked out a small but cleaner unit. The furniture didn't match, but it was decent.
The landlady handed him a large plastic bucket. Use this when you shower, she said firmly. Takes a while for the hot water. No need to waste the cold.
Right,
Lightning said.
That's smart. I get it.
Then dump the water in the toilet when you flush. Helps conserve, she added with a small smile.
You dump it?
He asked, surprised.
Like, manually?
Yup. Plumber's coming next week. Bucket showers build character, she said.
In another unit close to the elevated train tracks, Lightning stood with a tired-looking manager. As the train thundered past outside the window, the entire room shook.
Lightning winced, but tried to act interested, nodding as the manager talked over the noise. The double-pane windows looked like a good sign. Later, Lightning was working in a busy upscale cafe. Dressed in a stained apron, he wiped tables quickly and carried trays of dirty dishes to the back. The room buzzed with customers in fancy clothes, loud conversations, and the constant hiss of the espresso machine. As Lightning moved through the crowd, the owner stopped him with a hand on his arm. Jalen, can you stay late? We're swamped. Lightning glanced around.
Sure. Just let me know when to clock out.
"Thanks, Jalen," the owner said with real relief. "You're saving the night." Lightning gave a tired smile.
All the girls say that.
The owner laughed and rushed off.
Back in his hotel suite, Speed Demon stood in a white bathrobe, talking on his phone with a sharp tone.
"You're looking for Blur. Yes, it's me. I need you to take care of something quietly."
In the hallway, a hotel porter nervously carried a silver tray to Speed Demon's door and knocked softly.
The door opened. Speed Demon frowned at the tray, then stepped aside to let the porter in. In the bathroom, a box of men's hair dye sat on the sink. The instructions were crumpled nearby. Speed Demon stood at the mirror, carefully combing dark dye into his graying beard. The smell of chemicals filled the air. He checked his reflection, combed again, and finally nodded in approval. It looked a little fake, but definitely younger. That night, Speed Demon walked into a trendy club in an expensive suit, looking sharp with his now jet-black beard. Satana, stunning in a green dress and fur wrap, held his arm. Her diamond necklace sparkled under the dim lights, turning heads as they passed. She reached into her bag, pulled out a damp cloth, and wiped a smear of black dye from Speed Demon's neck. She smiled. He gave her a rare smile in return.
At the bar, Bestia stood awkwardly in a plain suit. He waved them over.
"Blur, Satana, good to see you."
Satana gave him a playful smirk.
"Still breathing? Impressive."
Bestia forced a smile.
"We've got a table in the back. It's quieter."
They followed him, turning heads as they walked. Across the room, Speed Demon noticed Satana's necklace. Her sharp green eyes followed it as the couple disappeared into the back lounge. Speed Demon casually returned to his table, pretending not to care. The back lounge was quieter, filled with soft jazz and shadows. At a private table sat Aubrey, a man in a cream-colored suit. He stood to greet them.
"Speed Demon, pleasure,"
he said, shaking hands. Then he looked at Satana's necklace.
"Nice bling."
She blinked, then smiled and touched the jewel.
"Thanks. It was a gift."
"New look, huh, Blur?"
Aubrey asked.
"Yep, new life,"
Speed Demon said proudly. They sat. Speed Demon glanced at two big men drinking soda nearby. Bodyguards, clearly watching everything.
"I heard you killed a subterranean with your bare hands,"
Aubrey said, grinning.
"And where the blood hit, diamonds came out."
"Spider been good to me,"
Speed Demon said, eyes distant.
"Tough, but worth it."
"So, what did you kill in San Bolivar?"
Aubrey asked. Speed Demon's face darkened.
"Better question is what I'll kill in New York."
Bestia looked nervous. He signaled the waiter.
"Drinks all around. Whiskey for Blur?"
"Speed Demon."
"Yes, Speed Demon." "Me, I'll take a martini. And for you, Satana?"
"Dark and stormy, double,"
she replied, amused.
Later that night, Lightning sat slumped on a city bus. His head rested against the back of the seat, eyes closed. The city lights flickered over his face as the bus rolled along. He got off at a quiet stop and walked toward a small, familiar house. He looked tired, but determined. In the kitchen, he opened the fridge and found a sandwich wrapped in plastic. A note on top read, "No junk food." He smiled, a real smile.
He unwrapped the sandwich and took a bite, the quiet comfort of home easing the weight of the day.
Chapter 15. Lightning climbed the old wooden stairs, careful not to wake anyone. The hallway was narrow, and each step creaked under his weight. He moved quietly. He knew this house well. From a bedroom up ahead, a sleepy voice called out, "Lightning? That you?"
He opened the door slowly. It creaked softly, blending into the quiet sounds of the city outside.
Inside, April Robbins lay in bed under a thin blanket, her bedside lamp casting a soft glow. Books were stacked high on her nightstand, worn from being read over and over.
I'm not spying on you,
she mumbled.
I just couldn't sleep. I watched one of my shows.
Lightning leaned against the doorframe and smiled.
Sure. You've probably got pigeons trained to report my every move.
Thanks for calling,
she said, her voice gentle.
I just worry when you're out late. You know how this city is.
Worry? You act like the Navy should start airstrikes if I miss dinner.
Lightning joked.
You're running a whole emergency response team.
April smiled and waved him off.
They didn't work you too hard at the cafe, did they?
Busy night,
Lightning said, rubbing the back of his neck.
Tourists were everywhere, but the tips were decent. Almost enough for that not-so-awful apartment I looked at.
Glad to hear it. Now get some sleep. You've got class tomorrow. That civics professor of yours hates late arrivals.
Lightning groaned.
4 more years of learning about garbage collection history. Night, April.
Good night. Try not to wake the house.
As he left, April noticed the folded newspaper sticking out of his back pockets. A few rental ads were circled in red. Her smile faded slightly as she drifted off to sleep. Back at the club, in the quiet lounge, papers were spread across a table. Aubrey flipped through one with careful fingers, comparing it to the data on a glowing tablet nearby.
The geologist says there's definitely a rich vein of ore.
Bestia whispered.
Probably close to the surface.
Upward inside the mountain?
Aubrey asked.
Exactly,
said Speed Demon.
Not deep. Easier to get.
Aubrey frowned.
You've been digging for 5 years and found nothing. People are getting nervous.
Speed Demon raised his glass. His beard, dyed jet black, looked too dark in the dim light.
Yet,
he said.
Patience, Aubrey.
Maybe it's time to cut your losses,
Aubrey said quietly. Speed Demon suddenly tensed. He sniffed the air like he sensed something off.
Egghead,
he growled. Egghead appeared behind him, flanked by 3 bodyguards. He had greasy hair and a smug smile. Speed Demon stood so fast his chair nearly flipped. 2 bodyguards at a nearby table stood too, hands ready near hidden weapons.
Easy,
Bestia said, trying to calm things down.
What do you want?
Speed Demon snapped.
You crawling into my business again?
Same as you,
Egghead said with a smirk.
Checking up on my money. You've got nothing but promises.
Speed Demon jabbed a finger in his face.
My company's not for sale. You're not taking it from me.
Egghead chuckled.
In a week you'll be begging. The market's already decided.
Satana stood, brushing on her fur wrap. She gave Egghead a cold look, then walked off to the main bar. Speed Demon looked between Egghead, Bestia, and Aubrey.
Aubrey, why the silence?
Egghead grinned.
Didn't tell him, huh? Still pretending he's in charge? I bought Ivania Capital 2 days ago,
Egghead said.
That gives me 17% of your company. Enough to call the shots. Can you beat that?
Speed Demon's face turned red. He glared at Bestia and Aubrey, furious.
Sergey,
Bestia said.
Egghead's offer is good. We can all make a fortune. It's smart business.
Speed Demon roared and swept his arm across the table, shattering glasses and spilling drinks everywhere. Patrons gasped. Egghead's bodyguards raised their guns. So did a few of Aubrey's. Speed Demon leaned toward Bestia, face inches from his.
I expect betrayal from Aubrey. But you've made a big mistake.
One of the bodyguards cocked his gun. Speed Demon slowly turned to face him, calm but deadly.
If I want to kill you, no one here will stop me. Not these toys, not your friends, no one.
You're finished.
Egghead sneered.
5 years and still nothing. I'll be the one writing your ending.
Speed Demon didn't reply. Satana had returned. He took her arm and stormed out, leaving broken glass and stunned silence behind. Egghead sat down.
So, what was his plan? Any last desperate ideas?
Aubrey stood, his hands shaking as he cleaned up the mess.
I need to be somewhere else, preferably a different country.
You're scared?
Egghead asked, half laughing.
You should be too,
Aubrey said, backing away.
He's not done.
Aubrey disappeared into the crowd. Egghead turned to Bestia, still sitting at the table.
What about you?
He asked.
Still on the fence?
Bestia met his gaze, his voice steady.
I'm with the winner. And right now, that's you.
Good man,
Egghead said, nodding. Outside on West Houston Street, Speed Demon and Satana stepped into the night. He was fuming, barely holding it together. The limo waited at the curb. The driver opened the door silently. Satana got in smoothly. Speed Demon stood outside for a moment, pounding his fist on the roof of the car, over and over. Thud, thud, thud. The driver didn't flinch, he just watched. Finally, Speed Demon's rage cooled. His face turned cold and focused. He looked at the driver.
Call ahead. Tell Satana to get ready. Tonight, I hunt.
The driver smiled slowly, as if he'd been waiting for this moment. Speed Demon got in. The limo rolled away into the night. Across the street, in the shadows, Felicia Hardy stepped out of hiding. She'd seen everything. She watched the limo disappear, a sly grin spreading across her face. Her eyes sparkled with mischief. Chapter 16. A strange energy filled the hallway outside the hotel room Speed Demon had taken over. It felt tense, like something big was about to happen. Inside one of the suites, a group of black women worked quickly, dragging large suitcases from the closets. They sang an old African hunting song as they moved, their voices strong and steady. It was a song for luck, for strength, for the hunt ahead. They opened the cases and pulled out colorful clothing, beaded necklaces, animal hides, bright fabrics. The room no longer looked like a hotel. It looked like the start of a ceremony. In another room, a large wooden chest creaked open, revealing drums of different shapes and sizes. Several men grabbed the instruments with excitement. They pounded out test beats, the deep rhythms echoing through the suite, like a heartbeat before battle. Downstairs, an older couple lay in bed, frowning at the noise from above. The steady drumbeat had taken over their quiet night. The elevator dinged. Speed Demon stepped out, muscles tense, face focused. Satana walked beside him, calm but alert.
This isn't Africa,
she said.
People will see you. This whole thing, it's too much.
Should I let them live? These snakes who try to destroy what I've built. Tonight, I hunt.
They stopped at the door to his suite. Satana gave a small, dangerous smile.
Then kill them all. But understand there will be consequences.
She pulled a small glass vial from her bag. The liquid inside shimmered strangely.
Drink this, it will make you stronger.
Speed Demon scoffed.
I don't need magic. My strength is enough.
It's not magic, it's ancient, from before magic had a name.
She said.
It will make you more you.
I am already enough.
He stepped into the suite. A large man stood waiting, dressed in full hunting gear, holding a spear and shield. He nodded silently and stepped aside. There, on a table, lay Speed Demon's vest made from a lion's mane and his leopard print pants. He ran his hand across the fur, feeling power surge through him. A wide grin spread across his face. Now fully dressed for the hunt, Speed Demon stepped onto the rooftop. Curved knives hung from his belt. His gloves were tipped with sharp lion claws. Torches lit the roof, flames flickering in the night. Drummers played loudly, filling the sky with a wild rhythm. Dancers moved in a circle, their feet stomping, their spears flashing. Speed Demon let out a loud shout, grabbed his spear and shield, and joined them. The dance was fierce. Bodies moved with strength and purpose. They struck, spun, ducked, and jumped with perfect timing. Speed Demon threw his spear into the sky, spun, caught it again, and moved like a wild animal. Quick, powerful, unstoppable. The drumming grew louder. The dancers cried out. Their cowtail leggings swished with each stomp. Speed Demon dropped low, then jumped high again, keeping perfect rhythm. With a final roar, he hurled his spear into a target made of bundled reeds. It hit with a solid thud. Speed Demon let out another roar. His teeth looked longer, sharper in the firelight. He wasn't just a man anymore. He was the hunter. He tossed his shield aside and ran to the roof's edge. Then, he leaped. The other dancers rushed forward and peered over the edge, watching with wide eyes. Speed Demon climbed down the building with ease, his claws digging into the stone. He moved fast, silently. At a narrow ledge, he paused, then jumped to another building. He landed hard on a fire escape, the metal shaking under him. He didn't stop. He moved over windows and ledges, a shadow crawling toward the front of the building. Back on the roof, the dancers cheered and raised their spears. Their hunter had vanished into the night. Speed Demon jumped again, this time catching a steel cable. Sparks flew as he slid down, then flipped away at the last second. He landed quietly on the sidewalk. He sniffed the air, alert and focused. He ran along the street, glancing into car windows as he passed, searching. He stopped at a streetlight where a woman stood. She wore fur and leopard print, oddly similar to Speed Demon himself. She frowned at him. "This is my spot, sweetie, unless you've got something real special." Speed Demon let out a roar so loud it echoed through the street. The woman screamed and ran, her heels clacking as she disappeared into the dark. Speed Demon laughed deep and wild and jumped onto the back of a passing truck, disappearing once again. On West 83rd Street, a sleek black BMW drove through the night. Inside, Bestia gripped the wheel tightly, humming nervously, along with soft classical music on the radio. A truck pulled up beside him. Then, Speed Demon appeared on top of it. He jumped. Suddenly, he was at the driver's window, his terrifying face inches from the glass. He raked his claws across the window, shattering it and cutting deep into Bestia's face. The car swerved, horns blaring around it. Speed Demon held on as the BMW spun out of control. Just before it crashed into a parked car, he leapt away. The BMW smashed into metal with a loud crash. Inside, Bestia, bleeding and shaking, hit the gas. The car groaned but surged forward, racing towards Central Park. But Speed Demon wasn't done. He appeared again, this time slashing a tire. It blew out, sending the car skidding. The BMW crashed through a steel barrier, flipped, then smashed into a huge oak tree. The wreck shook. Then Bestia crawled out, bruised and bloody. But Speed Demon was already there. He yanked Bestia out and threw him to the ground.
"Help! Somebody!"
Bestia screamed. Speed Demon leaned over him.
"Big mistake, Bestia."
Bestia ran, crashing into the shadows of the park. Speed Demon grinned and climbed into a tree. Bestia ran blindly through the park, ducking behind trees and benches. He spotted a figure ahead.
"Help, please!"
But as he got closer, he saw it was just a statue. Sirens wailed in the distance. Flashing lights cut through the trees. He raced toward them, hope rising. He ducked behind a bush, then bolted toward the street again. He paused behind a thick shrub, panting. Then, a terrible roar. Speed Demon dropped from the branches and tackled him hard into the bushes. The leaves shook violently, branches snapped, Bestia screamed, and then silence. Only the sirens remained, growing louder as they came. Chapter 17. The city bus rolled through the streets, loud and crowded. Lightning sat near the back, earbuds in, head lightly bobbing to his music. He stared out the window, half distracted, until something unusual caught his eye. Outside, there were flashing police lights, an ambulance, and a fire truck. Yellow tape blocked off part of West 83rd Street. Something bad had happened. The bus stopped at the corner. Lightning yanked out his earbuds and got off. Worry crept into his chest as he hurried back toward the scene. A police officer held up a hand.
Sorry, pal. Area's closed. You'll have to go around.
What happened? Lightning asked, anxious. Anyone hurt?
Can't say. Move it along.
Lightning walked off but circled around. He ducked into a narrow alley, climbed up the side of a building, and found a ledge. There, he pulled off his backpack, took out his lightning bolt bracelets, and put them on. Then, he changed into his yellow and blue costume. He ran through Central Park's trees, heading toward the police tape. Hidden by the leaves, he spotted a group of detectives. One man in a white suit was kneeling near a bush. Lightning climbed out further onto a branch, trying to get a better view. He fired a bolt to a flagpole and swung to another tree. Below, a detective was taking a witness statement.
Some guy in a lion costume.
The witness said, still shaken.
He ran a car off the road, like it was nothing.
A man in a lion costume?
The detective asked, writing it down.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Just then, a bolt of lightning shot from the tree. Lightning zipped off to another rooftop.
Told you,
the witness said. Lightning ran across rooftops, noticing something strange on a lower building. He dropped down, crawling to a ledge. There were deep claw marks in the stone.
That's not good,
he muttered. Suddenly, his alarm buzzed from his backpack.
No, not now,
he groaned. The time flashed on a nearby clock, 8:03. He fired a bolt and vanished in a flash of light. On an NYU rooftop, lightning ran, then ducked behind loud vents. A moment later, he emerged in his regular clothes and backpack. He joined the students heading to class. He slipped into his English 101 class. Everyone turned to stare.
Mr. Lightning?
Said the professor, annoyed.
Class started 15 minutes ago. Again.
Sorry, Doctor. Halstead,
he muttered.
Won't happen again.
See that it doesn't.
He slid into a back seat and pulled out his notebook.
Meanwhile, police and SWAT surrounded the Belmont Hotel. Inside Speed Demon's suite, detectives searched, but it was empty. He checked out early, no sign left behind.
What time did they leave?
A detective asked the hotel manager.
Just after 6. Paid in cash.
The detective made a call.
He's gone. Locked down the city. He's wanted for murder.
In a fancy penthouse, Egghead lounged in a robe while detectives questioned him.
He went nuts,
Egghead said.
Threatened the guy right there in front of everyone.
Everyone?
Me, some bodyguards, Aubrey, and General Bestia. Speed Demon had a woman with him, too.
Where's Aubrey now?
He left the country, fast.
We'd like to leave some officers here, just in case.
Fine. Let them stay. Just don't expect me to feed them.
At a newsstand, the evening paper showed a sketch of Speed Demon in his wild outfit. The headline read, "Costumed Killer on the Loose." On TV, the news anchor gave a grave report. April Robbins watched, her face filled with concern.
Authorities believe the man in a lion outfit killed General Bestia in Central Park. He's dangerous. A tri-state manhunt is underway.
The phone rang. April picked it up.
Hello?
Lightning stood high above the city on a rooftop.
Hey, April, it's me. I'll be home late. Something came up.
Be careful. That crazy guy from the news. They say he's dangerous.
Yeah, I heard. Don't worry, I'll be okay.
She picked up a newspaper with rental ads circled in dark marker.
Is there something you want to tell me about moving out?
Lightning paused.
Rent's expensive. I'm trying to save.
I understand. You're growing up. Just be careful out there.
I will, I promise. And I'll try not to wake you when I get home.
Chapter 18. The city stretched out below, glowing with lights like stars scattered across the ground. Lightning moved through the night sky like a streak of color, swinging between buildings using bursts of blue energy from the devices on his wrists. Each bolt shot out, hit a target, and pulled him forward through the air. He let go of one tall building, soared across a gap, and shot another bolt at a nearby skyscraper. It caught, and he swung forward in a wide arc, then landed lightly on a rooftop before taking off again. He ran past a huge billboard showing a luxury watch. The painted eyes on it seemed to follow him as he passed. Below, the city buzzed with life, but up here, it was quiet. Lightning scanned the streets for anything unusual. He jumped over the edge of a commercial building and ran across the rooftop. At the far end, he climbed down the side, his gloves sticking to the glass like a gecko's feet. He moved sideways across the wall until he found a window. Inside, a janitor was vacuuming the floor. He looked up and saw Lightning outside the window. Startled, he gave a small wave. Lightning nodded and moved on. He leaped again, landing on a nearby building, but froze. Something didn't sound right. He heard movement above.
What the?
Lightning whispered. A shadowy figure moved across the rooftop. Lightning jumped and tackled them. They rolled on the ground, and Lightning looked down to see a woman in a black suit with white fur and bright green eyes.
Easy, Tiger,
she said with a smirk.
You always greet strangers like that?
Don't call me that,
Lightning replied.
Going to punch me? How shocking,
she teased. Lightning stood and backed up. She stood too, graceful and confident.
Who are you? What are you doing up here?
He asked.
You first,
she said.
You show me yours, I'll show you mine.
If you're going to be a cat burglar, maybe try a hamster costume,
he said.
The cat thing's kind of obvious.
Says the guy in a lightning bolt suit.
She shot back. They circled each other.
No jewelry stores here. You the one who hit Vanderlin's the other night?
He asked.
Window shopping isn't a crime,
she said.
I should arrest you.
Where's your badge, officer?
She replied.
You're a thief,
Lightning said.
Haven't stolen anything. Tonight,
she said.
The night's still young.
She slinked away.
Want to search me?
She teased. Don't call me that, he snapped.
Sensitive much, blue butt?
She joked.
What?
Lightning bolt head,
she said.
Oh, now you've gone too far, fuzzball.
Suddenly, gunshots rang out from a nearby building. Lightning turned.
Looks like we'll finish this later,
he said. But when he looked back, she was gone.
Damn slick,
he muttered. Lightning leaped toward the gunfire. Inside Egghead's apartment, chaos broke out. Bullets flew. Lightning landed by the rooftop pool and slipped into the back patio. A police officer crashed through the glass door. Lightning flinched back. Speed Demon stood in the doorway, growling.
Nice!
Lightning started to say, but Speed Demon charged back inside.
Pants!
Lightning finished. Lightning leaped into the chaos. Police fired their weapons, but Speed Demon moved too fast. One guard got slashed and collapsed.
Egghead!
Speed Demon roared. A policeman radioed for backup. Speed Demon pounced on him, tossed him through a wall, and followed. Lightning fired a bolt, grabbing Speed Demon by the vest.
You don't play well with others, huh, Fuzzface?
Speed Demon cut the bolt with a knife.
Okay, Cuddles, have it your way,
Lightning said. Speed Demon threw Lightning into a cabinet. Lightning fired back, then dodged gunfire from a female bodyguard.
Wrong guy!
Lightning shouted. Speed Demon tackled him into a TV. Glass flew everywhere. The female guard fired again, but Speed Demon flipped back, knocked her down, and tossed a coffee table into a bedroom doorway. Lightning pulled himself out of the wreckage. Speed Demon charged into the bedroom. 2 women screamed. Another guard fired. But Speed Demon knocked the gun away and stabbed him. Egghead raised a pistol. Speed Demon tackled him, pressed a knife to his throat, and growled.
You should not have challenged me.
He stabbed Egghead. Speed Demon stood over the body, howling in triumph. Police helicopters approached. SWAT officers rappelled down. Lightning reached the bedroom and froze. The room was a mess of blood and destruction. Speed Demon turned, locking eyes with him. SWAT moved in. One checked a fallen guard and shook his head. No pulse. Speed Demon roared and charged Lightning. Chapter 19. A group of men moved quietly along a narrow path, the early morning air thick with salt and silence. They passed empty docks until they reached a private one, where a sleek white yacht waited. They walked with purpose, their faces grim. On the yacht, a woman stood at the bow, her face filled with pain. She watched as the men brought a wounded man on board. His body was limp, bandaged, and bloodied. She reached out and gently touched his face, then his wounded shoulder.
He's bleeding inside,
one of the men said quietly.
He won't live to see the sunrise.
Take him to the hold, not his room. There's work to be done.
They carried him below deck. The yacht's hold was dim and smelled of salt and fuel. Animal cages and cargo containers lined the walls. A single light hung overhead. The wounded man lay on a mattress on top of wooden crates, barely breathing. Several women surrounded him, crying softly in a rhythmic, mournful song. The woman entered, her voice sharp.
Out. Everyone out. He needs quiet.
The women left, their crying fading as they climbed the stairs. She knelt beside the man and held his hand tightly.
Can you hear me?
She asked. He opened his eyes, weakly smiling.
I found a better hunter.
No one is better than you,
she said fiercely.
The boy in red and yellow, fast, strong. I'm dying,
he whispered. She asked if he had succeeded. He nodded.
Then your minds are safe. Your legacy is protected,
she said. He coughed, blood on his lips.
No one will take you from me,
she said. He gave a weak laugh.
You don't understand tragedy. It's in Russian blood.
You won't die,
she said.
Not like this.
She pulled out a glass vial of thick, glowing liquid.
The price is too high,
he murmured.
To cheat death? It's worth it.
She broke the seal and held it to his lips.
Drink, live, fight.
He looked into her eyes and nodded. He drank. His body began to tremble. Then he finished the vial and crushed it. Suddenly, his eyes snapped open, now glowing yellow and cat-like. His body convulsed, muscles bulging. His wounds closed. His hair thickened into a mane. His nails turned into claws. His teeth grew into sharp fangs. He rose, breathing hard, a wide smile on his changed face. Then he roared, a loud, wild sound that shook the yacht. Upstairs, the captain glanced at another man, concerned, but that man only smiled and raised his spear in triumph. The hunter lives. Meanwhile, Lightning groaned, face down in bed. Everything hurt. He sat up slowly, blinking at the silent room. The digital clock on his nightstand was off. He grabbed the unplugged cord, confused. He checked his phone. 10:47 a.m. Panic hit him. He walked downstairs in pajamas, clock in hand.
April!
In the kitchen, honey. Breakfast is ready.
The kitchen smelled amazing. She placed eggs and pancakes on a plate.
Did you unplug my clock? I'm super late.
You needed rest,
she said calmly.
You got in late. I didn't even hear you.
I had class this morning,
he mumbled.
This afternoon, actually. And you'll still probably be late,
she said.
Sit down. Eat. You look terrible.
He sighed and sat, setting the clock on the table.
So you unplugged it on purpose?
Yes. I couldn't figure out how to turn it off. Too many buttons.
3 buttons, April. It's just a clock.
She placed a newspaper in front of him, rental ads circled in marker.
Your boss called.
She added.
He said you had the night off.
She put the paper on the table.
I found this in the trash. Want to explain?
He stared at it, silent.
You've been out late. You lied about work.
Not lied exactly,
he said.
You weren't at the restaurant, so where were you? Apartment hunting?
She knelt beside him, holding his hand.
Ben did okay. We're not rich, but we manage. We're family. We help each other.
I just wanted something closer to school,
he said softly.
You can't afford it. Don't quit school. That was Ben's dream. Ours.
I'm gonna graduate,
he promised.
Some jobs pay well, but trap you. Then life happens. You never go back.
It's not like that. I swear.
Graduating opens doors. Don't throw it away. You have so much potential.
I'll make you and Ben proud,
he said sincerely. She hugged him tightly, and he flinched. She pulled back, alarmed, and lifted his shirt. Bruises covered his ribs.
Oh my God, what happened?
He looked away.
This isn't the first time you've come home hurt. Are you doing something illegal? Something dangerous?
Number never.
Please tell me the truth. I don't care how much it pays. If you go to prison, your future is gone.
Chapter 20. Students and teachers moved through the NYU campus, sunlight glinting off the old buildings.
Inside a bright science lab, Lightning wore goggles, gloves, and a lab apron. He carefully spooned white powder onto wax paper on a scale, then jotted down the exact weight in his notebook. Later, in English class, Lightning listened as the professor explained how to build strong essays. He followed along with his printed guide and took extra notes when another student asked a question. At lunch, he sat outside at a cafeteria table, enjoying the sound of laughter and casual conversations. A hacky sack game bounced nearby. 2 girls waved at him and smiled. Lightning waved back, but suddenly felt uneasy. Something was off. He looked around, but saw nothing strange, so he tried to ignore it and finish eating. That evening, Lightning waited for a bus. Sirens wailed and police cars raced past. He thought about checking it out, but got on the bus when someone behind him grumbled impatiently.
Back in his room, he typed away at an essay, focused despite the discarded newspaper next to him with the headline, "More Thefts." He printed the paper and tried to shake off the city's chaos.
The next morning, Lightning blended into the busy crowd outside the bus station. Later, in civics class, he smiled at the A- on his quiz. After class, he worked at a fancy cafe, clearing dishes and moving quickly. But that same uneasy feeling returned. He stepped outside and scanned the street. Nothing stood out. Still, the sensation stuck with him. While walking downtown, he passed a newsstand and froze. A tabloid cover read, "Murder Man," with a blurry image of him near Egghead's dead body. 2 girls nearby were reading another article and whispering.
I can't believe Lightning would kill someone.
It has to be wrong,
the other replied.
Lightning heard them and gave a faint smile.
Definitely a mistake,
he said. The girls looked at him, confused, then giggled nervously and walked away. Lightning sighed and kept going, the headline heavy on his mind.
Back home, he closed his civics textbook and stretched. He headed downstairs.
"I'm going out," he called. She was in the living room, watching TV and working on a puzzle. Lightning smiled.
Still with the Sudoku?
Gotta keep the brain sharp,
she said, not looking up.
I might go see a movie. If you have a guy over, just hang a necktie on the doorknob.
She rolled her eyes.
You're impossible.
Just trying to help.
Don't stay out too late,
she warned.
I've got time,
he said confidently.
Okay, but don't complain when you can't wake up tomorrow.
He gave her a hug.
Love you. Be careful.
Love you too,
he replied, heading to the door. Then she said,
Good thing lightning sticks to Manhattan.
Lightning turned back, confused.
They say he's killing people. It was on the news.
Come on, that's just TV drama.
It was CNN. They had footage.
Lightning paused, a bit shaken.
I need to get out. Get some air.
On the train, he stared out the window as the city blurred by. His thoughts were heavy. At the next station, he missed his train and spun around in frustration.
No, no, no.
The next train was a long wait. He looked around the empty platform.
Just this once,
he muttered. Then he leapt to the depot roof. Across the rooftops, lightning raced through the night, a blur above the city lights. Suddenly, a loud scream echoed. He changed direction and sprinted toward the sound. On West 45th Street, a woman dangled from a cable above the sidewalk, screaming in terror. Lightning raced forward and caught her mid-fall, saving her in a blur of motion. He landed with her safely on a ledge and looked at her face. Frozen. Arms stiff. Legs stiff. It wasn't a woman. It was a mannequin. A trap.
Oh, this can't be good.
Lightning muttered, going still as every instinct screamed at him to run. Chapter 21. A messy image flashed in the corner of Lightning's vision. Batteries, tangled wires, exposed circuits, and explosives. A sharp electric whine screamed from the mannequin, stabbing into Lightning's ears. He winced, his body reacting on instinct. He jumped back just as the mannequin exploded. Its fake body blew apart in a blast of force and flying fragments. Barbed cables shot out from the blast like deadly whips, slicing through the air. Lightning twisted in the air, dodging as fast as he could. But one cable caught him. Its sharp end punched into his thigh. He screamed, the pain unbearable, and the cable yanked him off balance, slamming him against a brick wall. Now he was hanging, suspended in the air, the cable pulling deeper into his leg with every move. Gasping, Lightning grabbed at the barb, his fingers slippery with blood. He traced the cable upward. It led to a rooftop overhang. Summoning his strength, Lightning pulled himself up the cable, his muscles burning. Then, thunk! A tranquilizer dart hit his shoulder. His vision blurred. Above him, Wilbur Cook stood on the rooftop, holding a rifle and speaking into a phone.
I have him.
Lightning's hands slipped. He hung limp, unconscious. Wilbur reeled him up with a winch. Once Lightning was close, he used a hooked pole to pull him onto the roof, then snapped the winch cable free. Wilbur looked down at Lightning.
You beat Speed Demon? Doesn't seem possible.
He knelt, unlocked the barb from Lightning's thigh, and yanked it out. Blood gushed.
The hunter is coming. Then you'll know fear.
Behind him, Satana appeared with a heavy pipe. She ran forward and smashed Wilbur in the head, knocking him out cold. She dragged his body aside and slapped Lightning's face gently.
Hey, wake up.
She struggled to lift Lightning to his feet.
Come on, Tiger, time to go.
His eyes fluttered open, dazed. She half carried him toward the rooftop door. But Speed Demon's driver stepped out, holding a long spear. He spotted them and threw the spear. Satana grabbed Lightning's hand and waved it.
Do the thing.
Nothing happened. The spear cut a lock of her hair and embedded into the doorframe. Panicking, she dragged Lightning toward the roof edge.
What?
Lightning groaned. Satana spotted the fire escape below. The driver charged with a knife. She felt Lightning's lightning bracelet and triggered it. A bolt fired and stuck to the building. The driver ducked and kept running. The driver threw his knife, and Satana and Lightning fell off the roof. As they dropped, Satana fired another bolt. It stuck to the wall, the cord trailing behind them. She twisted mid-fall, using Lightning's body to shield them. Another bolt fired. They hit the bolt, energy crackling. Satana gritted her teeth as it wrapped around her. They swung wildly, then crashed through a glass window. Inside, they landed in a heap in a dark office. Papers flew, filing cabinets rattled. Satana laughed weakly and collapsed. Lightning groaned, coming to. They reached an elevator. Ding! They stumbled out, leaning on each other. Outside, Satana flagged down a taxi. She shoved Lightning in first and followed. The driver eyed them suspiciously.
A costume party,
she said, pretending to be drunk. He nodded, unconvinced.
You smell nice,
Lightning muttered.
Yeah.
She replied. Later, Lightning woke on a rooftop. His thigh was bandaged. Satana arrived with coffee and a paper bag.
Here.
What's this?
You looked like you needed it.
Inside was pain medicine. She handed him the coffee. He pulled up his mask and downed the pills.
Thanks.
He shook the bag again and found a diamond necklace. Flash! Satana had taken a photo.
You didn't?
Not me. You're the one holding it.
Low move.
Think of it as insurance. I post that photo and suddenly you're a jewel thief.
What do you want?
I saved your life, so let me go.
You're still a thief.
No one gets hurt when I steal.
It's still wrong.
You can't be good all the time.
She hugged him. They broke apart.
You smell nice.
You said that.
He leaned in again.
No, that smell. It can be tracked.
Speed Demon crouched nearby, grinning.
A predator can track.
Lightning snapped alert.
Speed Demon!
The Lightning and his mate.
We are not a couple,
they said together. Speed Demon growled.
You are prey.
We'll see about that.
Speed Demon jumped down.
You'll make a fine trophy.
Gold!
Lightning told Satana. She vanished behind vents. Speed Demon charged. Lightning fired. Speed Demon slid and knocked him down. Lightning took a hit to the face, kicked back, and scrambled to his feet. They fought. Lightning grabbed him and jumped. They crashed down. Lightning flipped upright. Speed Demon grinned.
Worthy prey.
And you need a new wardrobe.
Lightning fired 2 bolts. Speed Demon dodged. Lightning launched at him and kicked him into a wall. Speed Demon roared and rushed again. They smashed through the parapet and fell, fists flying into the street below. Lightning hit first. Trash cans exploded. Speed Demon landed on his feet. He roared. Lightning hit him, sending him crashing into a truck. Speed Demon collapsed. Lightning climbed a building, fired another bolt. Chapter 22. The air was tense as a helicopter circled overhead, its spotlight cutting through the dark and scanning the rooftops. The light flashed over stone gargoyles on a tall building, giving a quick glimpse of old art in a modern mess. Down on West 48th Street, 2 more police cars screeched around a corner, sirens blaring, speeding toward the chaos. A black limo cruised slowly along the street. The roof opened and a woman in a simple black dress popped out. Diamonds sparkled on her neck. Her platinum hair blew wildly in the wind as she stared up at the searchlight, her face tight with focus. On a rooftop nearby, Lightning jumped over the edge and landed lightly on a lower roof. Without missing a beat, he shot a lightning bolt at a taller building, the blue energy lighting up the night. Speed Demon climbed up from below, still moving smoothly even though he was hurt. He walked toward Lightning, eyes glowing yellow.
Thanks, boy Lightning,
he said, grinning.
This hunt, I love it.
Glad you're having fun, Furball.
Lightning shot back, his voice strained. Speed Demon roared and charged. Lightning grabbed him and threw him off the roof, then jumped after him. They crashed into the top of St. Patrick's Cathedral, smashing through a cross. Tiles and stone flew everywhere. They hit the roof hard. Speed Demon slid, claws tearing into the tiles. Lightning rolled and fell over the edge. Speed Demon followed. lightning landed badly between two tall spires. He fired lightning bolts downward and used the kickback to launch himself back up. Speed Demon landed and flew toward him again. Lightning kicked him in the chest and sent him flying back. Speed Demon dug his claws into the roof, skidding to a stop. Speed Demon ran at him and swiped at a lightning bolt, making it disappear, then slashed lightning across the ribs. Lightning cried out, "Hurt! Speed!" Demon tackled him and punched him over and over. Above, two helicopters circled, their lights shining on the rooftop fight. Inside one chopper, the pilot adjusted the view for the camera crew to get a clear shot. On a nearby terrace, two men in tribal clothes watched. One raised a sniper rifle, but the other hissed something in Zulu and pushed the gun away. They kept watching. Back on the roof, Lightning dodged more punches. He slid under Speed Demon, lifted him, and sent him sliding down the sloped roof. He fired a bolt at a spire, pulled himself up, and ran toward another building. Speed Demon chased him, smiling wide. He reached the middle of the cathedral, then turned and leaped across East 51st Street. He landed on a terraced building and climbed quickly to the top, running at full speed. Lightning shot across the sky, riding his lightning bolt. Speed Demon kept pace. At the end of the roof, Speed Demon crashed into a chimney, snapped it off, and threw it at Lightning. It hit him mid-air, sending him bouncing across the next rooftop. Speed Demon grabbed him and attacked, punching, clawing, and slamming Lightning to the ground. He grabbed Lightning's throat and raised his knife.
This is the end.
Speed Demon growled. Lightning struggled, his vision dimming. He slammed his palm into Speed Demon's chin. The grip loosened. Lightning leapt away and used a bolt to swing like a zip line, kicking Speed Demon hard. Lightning landed, coughing and hurt.
You're insane!
He gasped. Police sirens wailed below as more units and SWAT trucks arrived. Bright lights flooded the area. On 5th Avenue, the woman from earlier sped down the road on a Vespa scooter, weaving through traffic. She reached an intersection and cut off a limo, slapping its roof. Traffic jammed behind her. She drove onto the sidewalk, past the police, and got off the Vespa. Holding her shoes, she ran, following the path of destruction. From the limo, several men in tribal clothes got out and followed her, running between cars, weapons ready. Up on East 52nd Street, Speed Demon looked down at the police, then turned back to Lightning with a savage grin.
You're not the hunter. You're prey,
he said. Lightning leapt away and fired a lightning bolt. Speed Demon threw his knife and jumped after him. The knife cut through Lightning's bolt, dropping him onto a rooftop. Speed Demon was on him in seconds, holding his throat and raising a knife.
Die, Lightning Boy, die!
Lightning kicked hard, knocking Speed Demon off. He got up and punched Speed Demon again and again.
I was supposed to have the weekend off!
He yelled.
This isn't in my job description!
Speed Demon hit back, punching Lightning hard and sending him rolling. On 5th Avenue, the woman stopped her Vespa, looked up, and grabbed a grappling gun. She fired it at the building and zipped upward. She landed on the rooftop and was grabbed from behind. A knife pressed to her neck. "Take me to Speed Demon," a voice said. They moved across the rooftop. Below, the men from the limo climbed the building quickly, using fire escapes and pipes. The two women reached the rooftop edge, eyes scanning the chaos. Speed Demon punched Lightning in the jaw and threw him to the ground. He stomped on his injured leg. Lightning screamed. Speed Demon swung him into some metal pipes, then beat him down with claws and fists.
Die, 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 little spark,
he yelled. Lightning was bloodied and weak. Speed Demon kicked him in the ribs. Lightning used Speed Demon's speed against him and flipped him over, choking him from behind. Suddenly, the woman shouted. Chapter 23. East 54th Street was chaos. Red and blue lights flashed everywhere, throwing wild shadows on the buildings. Police cars packed the street, responding to the night's explosive events. Up above, lightning floated down on a thin strand of glowing energy. In his hand, he formed a wide, crackling net of light that wrapped around and trapped Speed Demon and Satana. Satana thrashed and shouted curses, her black dress dirty from the rooftop fight. Speed Demon, dazed, growled in a strange language and struggled against the glowing bonds. Several police officers, guns ready but not raised, stepped forward as Lightning lowered the glowing bundle to the ground. The energy hummed softly.
This guy's wanted for murder.
Lightning said tiredly.
And she helped him.
He let them go the last few feet. They hit the pavement with a soft thud, still tightly wrapped in the glowing net. Two detectives stepped through the crowd. One asked, "Who's the woman?" "We've got no reports on her."
Not sure,
Lightning answered.
but she was definitely helping him. Real partner in crime energy.
The second detective smirked. Aiding and abetting? You a cop or a superhero law student?
Just a citizen trying to help out. Haven't picked a major yet, but pre-law's looking better and better.
Lightning said with a tired smile. "How old are you, kid?" The first detective asked, frowning.
Make sure you use your strongest restraints on him.
Lightning warned, pointing to Speed Demon.
He's tough, you saw the claws. Anyway, gotta run.
With a flash of energy, he shot into the air and disappeared between the buildings. "Thanks for the assist, Lightning," one detective called after him.
Lightning landed on a nearby rooftop, flipping over the edge and landing with a wince. His ribs ached.
He limped over to Satana, who was leaning on a ventilation unit, breathing hard.
Need a ride? I charge extra for bruised ribs.
He joked. Satana smiled.
You're in no shape for a rescue, Sparky. You look like you lost a fight with a badger.
She touched his ribs, then poked him, making him groan.
Maybe not a piggyback,
He said.
but I can manage a walk.
She touched the cuts on his shoulder, then gently lifted the bottom of his mask.
Cheeks, dig scars.
She whispered. She kissed him, then pressed her face to his neck. She leaned back, smiling, and held up a diamond necklace, glittering in the faint light.
Where did you get?
Lightning groaned. Down below, police cut through the energy net. Satana checked her neck. The diamonds were gone.
Cops cuffed her and Speed Demon using heavy chains. Speed Demon's yellow eyes glared upward.
Lightning, I will get my revenge. You will die by my hands.
Up on the roof, Lightning rolled his eyes.
I don't even want to know where those diamonds came from.
He hugged Satana gently.
So, what's your name? You know mine.
Let's keep it professional. Call me Satana.
That's dramatic.
Or just Satana, your call.
Works for me.
He replied. They hugged again, softer this time. Then he looked up. The sky was turning pink.
Oh.
Lightning said.
If I miss class again, April Robbins is gonna kill me. Will I see you again?
I'll be around. You're kind of hard to forget.
You good? Need a ride?
Satana wiggled the necklace.
I'm good.
Lightning pulled his mask back down.
Try not to steal anything else tonight.
No promises,
She said with a grin.
but maybe I'll take a night off. That for you.
Lightning smiled under the mask, then ran and dove off the building, firing a lightning bolt to launch himself into the early morning sky. Chapter 24. Lightning stepped off the early bus, limping slightly from the fight the night before. Even with the bruises and aches, he smiled as the morning sun lit up the city buildings. He jogged toward April Robbins's house, feeling comfort in the familiar porch and creaky stairs. Just as he reached the door, April stepped outside in her robe and slippers, reaching for the newspaper. She spotted him and smiled, though her smile quickly turned to concern.
Lightning, were you out all night again?
She scolded, her voice a mix of worry and love.
You'll be the death of me with all this running around.
Lightning gave her a sheepish grin.
Sort of. I lost track of time. Long night. Lots happened.
April sighed, shaking her head.
Be glad you're young. When you hit 40, staying up all night will cost you 3 days of recovery.
She looked closer, spotting a strange smudge on his neck.
Were you with a girl?
Lightning shrugged.
Yeah, she helped me out of a tough spot. We watched the sunrise. It was nice.
April tapped her foot. Seriously?
Nothing major. Just happened. Probably won't see her again. Superhero one-night team up.
April's expression softened.
Well, you do need to let off steam. But be careful. Some people are just trouble.
Lightning smirked.
She's definitely that. Stole a diamond necklace.
April raised an eyebrow.
And you like her?
She's complicated,
he said. April hugged him.
You and your complicated life. Come inside. I made coffee, and there's still pancakes.
Inside, the smell of coffee and syrup welcomed him.
Want to stay up and tell me about your night? Or just crash?
Lightning yawned.
Maybe both. A caffeinated nap.
The door closed behind them, shutting out the city. Later, the city woke up. Lightning dashed across rooftops, a streak of blue energy. He flipped midair, fired another lightning bolt, and kept moving, gliding above Park Avenue. He paused on a tall building, hanging upside down. On the street below, a stack of newspapers caught his eye. Trachtenberg Quintet returned.
Son of a gun!
Lightning muttered with a smile. The vendor below saw him.
Hey, Lightning! Everything charged up?
Doing great, Sal. Just patrolling. Saving tuba players.
People gathered, cheering. Lightning waved, then blasted upward with a lightning bolt, disappearing into the skyline. He zipped down Park Avenue. A loud siren cut through the morning. A beat-up sedan tore down the street, engine roaring. A man leaned out the window, wearing a comedy tragedy mask, firing a machine gun. Police cars followed, lights flashing, sirens blaring. Lightning watched, sighed, and smiled.
So much for a quiet morning.
He launched from a street lamp, chasing the car across the rooftops, the thrill of the hunt waking him up again. Main characters and voices. Jalen Watts / Lightning, voiced by Jaden Cole. Raven, voiced by Andre Knight. Mentor, voiced by Simone Banks. Iron Maiden, voiced by Camila Torres. April Robbins, voiced by Emily Barrett. Vulcan, voiced by Connor Hayes. Post-credit chapter. The elevator hummed as it descended deeper than any floor Jalen Watts had ever been allowed. The air grew colder. Steel walls turned to thick black glass. And standing beside him, silent and unreadable, was the director. A tall woman in a pressed gray uniform, her sharp gaze never leaving the monitor built into her wrist.
You shouldn't be alive,
she said flatly.
Yeah,
Jalen muttered, flexing his fingers.
get that a lot lately.
The doors opened with a hiss. They entered a chamber lit only by a glowing circle in the center of the floor. A single figure stood in its beam, broad shoulders, long cape, and eyes hidden beneath the sharp curve of a midnight mask. Raven, Jalen slowed.
Yo, that's him?
The director nodded.
The first.
Raven turned. His voice was low, gravel wrapped in velvet.
You ran faster than physics said was possible. You think that makes you special?
I mean...
Jalen scratched his neck.
Kinda.
Raven stepped closer. Shadows crawled behind his movements, like smoke caught in moonlight.
I was the first man they ever sent into the field. Not with powers, with nothing but a jetpack and a suicide mission.
Jalen blinked.
You were like... a spy?
I was a test, Super Agent's first real weapon. They put me in an experimental suit, one that split me between matter and shadow.
He raised a hand, and it dissolved into mist.
Now I can walk through walls, vanish into darkness. But I can't ever go back to being human.
Jalen swallowed.
Damn!
Raven looked him up and down.
And you're 15. You're already carrying a dead man's legacy. What makes you think you can do this?
Jalen stared at the floor for a beat, then looked up.
'Cause I ain't got the luxury of walking away. Not when people still need saving.
Silence.
Then Raven cracked a ghost of a smile.
The director spoke.
He's in. Full clearance.
A small device snapped open in her palm. She extended it to Jalen. Engraved on the front, Super Agent Lightning. Raven turned back to the shadows.
Suit up, rookie.
The lights dimmed, the floor rumbled, and somewhere, far below the surface, the next mission was already beginning.
The end.
Ending credits. Lightning.
A SuperTemno audiobook production. Produced by SuperTemno, Temno LLC. Written and created by SuperTemno, Temno LLC.
Post-credit chapter. Written by Isabella Hart. Narrator Jalen Watts. Voiced by Jaden Cole. Voice direction Eli Evans. Dialogue Coach Tariq Elson. Sound design and mixing Cara Fields.
Audio editing Darren Miles. Music composition and original score Temno Music, Temno LLC. Score produced by Temno Music, Temno LLC.
Cover art and design Chad G. Peedy. Marketing and distribution SuperTemno, Temno LLC. Main characters and voices Jalen Watts / Lightning, voiced by Jaden Cole. Raven, voiced by Andre Knight.
Menthor, voiced by Simone Banks. Iron Maiden, voiced by Camila Torres. April Robbins, voiced by Emily Barrett. Vulcan, voiced by Connor Hayes. Special thanks to every listener who believes that power doesn't come from the suit. It comes from the choice to show up, stand strong, and run into the storm. You are never too young to be legendary.
Published by Temno LLC. Lightning and all Super Agents characters are original creations. Any resemblance to actual persons is purely coincidental. Copyright 2025. Temno LLC. All rights reserved.